Welcome to the Huts Hangout, the premier source of Wiggle news. Grab your blasters and blue milk because we're about to deep dive into the game where Huts rule and 3 scoundrels drool. On this episode, we have Bones, Mateus, and myself. Womprat may be on later. His area is just going through blackout at the moment. Some bad weather and that's hitting him at the moment. So, yeah. How you going, Mateus and Bones?
I'm doing all right.
Okay. Well, that was
I apologize if I sound bad or anything like that. I am also having a couple of technical difficulties today, but hopefully it's coming through clearly enough.
You need to tell them that you decided to update your laptop and Discord at 10 minutes
Okay.
before the show.
Yep, he had all week.
No, normally I restart my laptop 30 minutes before the show every time I come on it. This time I was running a little late. I restarted it 20 minutes before the show. And after I restarted it, it decided to push a Windows update. And then after the Windows update pushed, it forced me to update Discord before it would launch the app. So I ended up showing up a couple minutes late to the VC and almost had to do this on my phone instead of my laptop because it just wasn't updating.
And now he's going Robo? Or is that just me?
No, he's Robo.
Okay, alright.
You're Robo, my friend.
As I said, I apologize for technical difficulties.
And this is why...
Just go back to your phone.
I might... Yeah, I'm just going to go back to my phone.
And this is why
I'll be right back in the
you're
voice chat.
Still a guest. You're not even a special guest right now.
He's not even on now, so you can't even... he's off, so you missed that insult. How are you, Bones?
Good. I'm freezing my nuts off. That's why I'm wearing a Snuggie right now. Because it's 30 degrees in Florida. There's snow on the ground. During the day in Florida, it gets a little bit hotter, and it melts the snow so that when it gets whenever it gets dark outside, it freezes it. And I went out yesterday to start the car or some shit, and my like in Home Alone, whenever they slip on the ice and their feet's up in the air first and then they hit the floor, that was me first thing in the morning yesterday. So it's fucking freezing. One of our heaters went out. I have to flip a fan every fucking 10 minutes and go outside and flip the fan on the air conditioner if I want the heater to work. So I'm just miserable. But
why don't you just get something to hold the switch up?
What switch?
So it doesn't switch. Well, you said you have to flick a switch.
No,
just
it's a fan. There's a fan that the motor's not out on the fan, but whatever kicks the fan on in the air conditioning unit doesn't work. So I have to go there and take a knife and flick the fan, and it'll start the fan. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And so
it's a bad restart relay.
Yeah. Sure.
All right.
I need Mateus to come here and fix it because I have no
the electrician in the room. Thanks.
Yeah.
Not.
But yeah. Besides that, it's strange. We have snow in Florida.
Yeah.
That's about it. That's all that's been going on in my life.
I don't know specifically what it looks like at your house, Bones, but at my house, it's supposed to get up to 60 today. So.
But isn't
hopefully
around the 4th? Isn't there supposed to be another thing of snow?
I don't know, dude. They keep saying this is going to be the last one, and then a week later being like, "We got one more coming."
Yeah, my wife really follows that shit, and she says around the 4th, we're supposed to get a more snow. But anyways, I'll take this. I'm over it. I love snow. I'm from Kansas. It's cool to see it, but I'm fucking over it. So, I'm hoping. But yeah, Ray Rock, you keep yours at 63. Mine's at about 43 right now. I love to keep my house around the 60s. I agree, but mine's around 40 degrees in the house. One of my heaters went out that keeps this room that I move back and forth. My wife was fucking pissed because I keep moving it back and forth between our room and this one. Anyways, we're
your PC not heat up the room enough by itself? I figured it would.
The PC?
Yeah.
I hope not. If that's if your computer's overheating so much that it's heating up the room, then I think your computer has a problem. You don't want that to happen.
No, I mean, I guess I don't know much about computers, but I served with a guy who used to do a lot of flight sims, and he said that like he had to basically like do flight sims without a shirt on because his PC would heat his bedroom up so much that he would start sweating.
Yeah, it sounds like he's doing a not a live simulator, a flight simulator on your laptop is what it sounds like. I think he needed to upgrade his computer because that is not a good thing.
No, it's supposed to run it like red, right? Like that means it's on.
Yeah, if the metal on the side's glowing, that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's on.
Maybe he just didn't realize it, but his fan wasn't kicking on.
Yeah, like Steve said,
Yeah.
imagine your friend becomes like a real pilot and he comes out with his shirt off after each flight.
Like, oh well, I practice this way.
Practice like you play, guys.
Ray Rock, you asking for renting? Actually, we rent from. So my wife's mother-in-law owns our house, and it's a really big house. We're very blessed because we're broke as shit. But her mother-in-law owns the house, and it's like a 3-bedroom house. So we're able to pay the bills, but that fan is a problem. So we're not renting, so we have to fix it on our own. But you know, kind of a cool thing that I don't really mention anyone because it doesn't matter. But actually, her mom just signed it over to her, so we actually own this house. So we're very blessed.
Nice.
We're very blessed to have her. Her mom is a very, very sweet lady. Very, very awesome woman. But she signed because she has her own little. She's very like she doesn't need a lot. She's old school. She's 70 years old, so she's old school. She doesn't need TV or electricity. So they just live like in a little trailer on their own little piece of land. So, you know, she's getting older, so she wanted to make sure that Alex has something whenever she passes away. So that was actually pretty cool. That just happened like last week. So
Nice.
now that's the thing about owning a house is it's all up to you to fix the problems. But
Yeah. Yeah, that was an eye opener for me when I bought my house. Was suddenly being like, wait a second, I can't just call somebody and have them fix it.
Yep.
Well, you can, but you just have to pay for the person
Oh
to come and fix it.
you have to have the money to pay for them to come and fix it.
Yeah.
Nerelli, my bad. I was saying my wife's mother-in-law. My wife's mom, my mother-in-law. I apologize. Because your wife's mother-in-law, wouldn't that be your mom?
Yeah.
It would be. No, fuck my mom. She's a bitch. I do not talk to my mom. Okay.
One thing I would look into, Bones, is just see if you can get like a homeowner's warranty. It like just literally get a homeowner's warranty, wait a week, and then call them and be like, "Hey, our heater's broken." And like you have to pay for it out of. Usually, what'll end up happening is you have to pay for the repair out of pocket, but then they'll reimburse you for the full cost, or maybe make you pay like $100 total, and they'll reimburse the rest of it.
Oh,
And then after that's done, then you can just call them and be like, "Hey, I want to cancel my warranty," so that way you don't get stuck paying $70 a month for it.
Is this
Is that
conversation?
not just insurance?
It's in America, insurance doesn't cover things that are considered like home appliances and shit like that. You have to get a second thing called a warranty in order to cover stuff like that.
Is this conversation going to get us put in jail?
Only
I
if
mean,
you
it's
act
not
on it.
insurance. It's not insurance fraud if it's not through your insurance company, right?
Okay, all right. I mean, all those companies and schemes are crooked, but what do? They'll still fuck you over, so there's not much you can do.
Yeah.
Anyways, what else is going on?
Yeah.
Mike, how are the Wiggles doing this week?
Are we doing this now? Or are we doing it?
Might as well. No.
You said you let's just get this out of the way before
Mike-
Womp Rat shows
Mike
up
has-
and pokes fun
So,
at something that disturbs you.
I am furious. We visited, like, if you have been on this, listening to this podcast at all, the home of the Wiggles, the Wiggles World, is at one of the theme parks, half an hour, 40 minutes from my house. and we visited that said theme park today, and the Wiggles World is no longer. It's been replaced by like some jungle theme area, which was really good. The really good area, but the Wiggles World is no longer. It is now just two rides, and they're both
And
obviously kids rides. But yeah,
it's just now the Wiggles and loincloths as well. In like leopard spotted loincloths. So they've really downgraded.
I am furious. Yeah.
I'm furious.
I went down there to have a good day. 10 minutes in, walked down to the area for the Wiggles World, and what the fuck is this shit? Yeah.
I went to have a good day, and the Wiggles were gone.
Went to have a good day. Yep. Yeah. And apparently nobody else seemed to give a shit. Like it was,
And here you painted it out like the Wiggles were an important part of Australian culture. I would have thought that people would be more up in arms about that.
I'm actually thinking that they've probably, because like theme parks, right? They buy the rights for, whatever for that period of time. I almost feel like maybe the Wiggles were trying to charge them too much for the, the rights to have that area. So
they're getting too big for their
you
britches.
think the Wiggles are the bad guys? Do you think the Wiggles were being greedy?
Possibly, or just the theme park was being stingy and could make more money out of not having to spend millions on the rights.
How much fucking money do the Wiggles need? Jesus Christ.
Well, I mean, there's like 40 Wiggles.
And half of them have a drug habit.
I don't know whether it'd be 40, but it'd be at least 20.
You're Robo.
Now he's just
Your half are paying alimony to some retired Wiggles.
We heard nothing you said except for alimony.
Alimony to the retired ones.
You're a robot.
But
You're
yes,
a robot.
anyway.
So
all right. So yeah, that's the Wiggles news.
All right. Well, rest in peace.
There is a question in the podcast questions from Bane that does reference the Wiggles, and
look forward to that.
I will stab him in the eye with a fork when we get to that question, and have fun reading the question, Matthias.
So
that's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
So one more serious question about that: like, is the Wiggle hype after 30 years dying down, or are they still popular with the kids?
No, they're still massive over here.
Okay.
Like they've got like an actual kid show. Then they've got like little spin-offs where each of the characters will sort of do their own couple of songs, and they'll half a dozen songs, and there's like episodes focused on characters and stuff. So yeah,
this is unintentionally became half of a Wiggles podcast every week.
Yeah. No, Mike said that right at the start of his little mini rant. There was like, if you've been listening to our podcast at all, you know that this is not just a Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes podcast. This is also a Wiggles podcast.
So we get
Spotify's AI.
You are so robo, Matthias.
Yeah, we understood you.
What the fuck?
You sounded like fucking C-3PO when the Ugnaughts blasted him.
Yeah, that's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
all right,
I'm losing service.
Do we want to?
Apparently, I have a roving blackout as well.
Do we want to try and start talking about like Galaxy of Heroes a bit?
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot to talk about, so.
Well, the first topic is if anybody, so would have been 12 hours ago, the Gungans were actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was quite a big deal. I was obviously out, going around on a rampage at Dreamworld because of the lack of Wiggle World. But for those of you who weren't with me, you probably had a chance to watch the Gungans. I have watched it back this evening, and obviously, first off, you got to say congratulations to Egnards and the rest of the organization team. it was so funny sitting there watching some of the presenters for the awards put a lot of effort into their little skit, and we even had Womp Rap was one of the presenters, which he definitely missed a chance to stitch us all up and hang shit on us and have no chance of us replying.
Yeah, like,
Bones got many shout outs with his pine cones and tinfoil conspiracies.
yeah, but I mean,
yeah.
I the same 5 people. I'm not trying to be negative, but the same 5 people got nominated. Egnard's won like 4 of them, and like he makes 2 videos a fucking month. But besides that, yes, really cool. Womprack got to do a presentation.
Yeah.
Avant did one dressed as Spider-Man.
Yep.
Hobnail got a shout out on one of the ads. That was really cool.
Yep.
We did get
Shaka, who's been a guest, he had presented one as well, and
he
it was really
so
funny.
he was wearing a tinfoil hat and going pine cones, pine cones. The fact that pine cones has made an international difference in the swug of lives of people. I've done my job. Yeah, we got a fuck you Bones to start everything off. But besides my egotistical point outs that I thought were awesome, Avant made a MSF reference and said some stuff. 3 Scoundrels had a ad at the end. But I think Bit Dynasty did a fantastic job. He had the coolest, I think, really the coolest little segment. Because each person, like, it was up to them to do their segment. So some people did better quality of life than others. But yeah, it was cool getting to see Hobnail, kind of like like I said, we got to see his name on the thing. Moonborn did all the graphics and stuff, so shout out to him. But yeah, Egnard is my brother, man. Ever since he started doing like official content, me and him have become friends. Really love that guy. Who else? We're missing out on some other people, but Fat Phil. Yeah, I mean, but it was really well done. It was the first time they put 0 money into it. It was all based off people's time and effort and what they were willing to put into it. But I have some things that could improve it, but they don't want to listen to me, unfortunately. And I even said, like, I'll help with some production and stuff, but because there were some audio issues and stuff, but they're just not interested in me, I guess, helping out. So, but I am looking forward to it. Hopefully they do it every year. They seem like they're going to. I think it was a success overall. Oh, Meathead was part of it. He was in the chat. He was in the chat the whole time. He presented something.
He presented Content Creator of the Year, I think.
Which
was Scribe.
Yep.
And which is pretty, he's a very good content creator. Yeah,
very
absolutely.
deserving. Zareth won a few, but Dynasty won a few. I think Captain Amazing won one.
Nooch.
Nooch won a lot. Nooch won a shitload,
3 of
actually.
them?
Yeah, like 2 or 3 of them. Which he's very good. I was just surprised. Because, I think he won the one that was, best quality. Like, when you watch their streams, how good their quality is. I feel like Urz should have ran away with that. So there was a couple people pissed off about it that didn't know what the fuck the Gungies were, why Arnold wasn't being nominated. But this is all about second place and lower, pretty much. I mean, if we would have...
The best of the rest.
Yeah, it was like, if Arnold would have been nominated... First of all, he would have been nominated for every single one, because he is the best. He's the most popular. No one is arguing with that. I know there's a lot of haters out there, but even if you're hating on him, you know he's the best. There's hands down. From him at first place, and probably Scribe might be second, or whoever's the next popular one. It's the next popular one probably has 15 to 20K followers. He has over almost 300,000 followers. He's ascending beyond Swugga. He did a video with Star Wars Theory, who's the most famous Star Wars overall content creator on YouTube. So Arnold is just a big deal. So it would turn into just an Arnold award show, right? So we had to exclude him. I did not disagree with that. He even said Arnold runs away with all these. So it's about everyone else. But we did at the end, we did he did a dedication to Arnold, lifetime achievement or whatever the hell it was. So, we gave him his recognition, but like some people were complaining in the chat, like he should be winning these. Like, yeah, he should, but then it would be a 2-hour show of just about, how like, I don't know, like not TMZ, but they'll do like dedication, like documentaries or whatever, just to one person. That's what it would be. It would be going through his life story for 2 hours and talking about him. So, if you watched the Gungies and wondered why, that's why. Anyways, I really enjoyed it. I had a great time. I watched it live. There need to be more bones. There need to be more Huts Hangout, more Three Scoundrels, but we'll work on that for next year, for sure.
Yeah.
Matthias, do you plan on watching it at all?
I was not able to watch the Gungies last night because I was watching Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix with my wife.
Worst Harry Potter movie?
I will.
We love Harry Potter.
Worst
go
movie,
fuck yourself.
best
It's my favorite. It is my favorite book and favorite movie.
Are you
but they
fucking
do.
kidding me?
They do a bad job of translating the book into the movie. I will give you that, but it's still my favorite.
Okay, hold on. We got to stop here and discuss Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. Hold on. I read the books every time they were released. I got it day one and read them, and I read them as fast as I could. When I read the books, I had to read like every page over and over again. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, when I'm not even saying spoiler alert, because if you fucking read the books, then you're never going to read them or watch the movies. When Sirius dies, I'm like, I read it like 17 times, and I'm like, it made no sense. Like, he just disappears. What do you mean he just disappears? I didn't understand the gateway or any of it.
That's the point. They're in the Department of Mysteries. It's full of mysterious artifacts whose, like, what they do isn't understood or comprehended fully.
It was a terrible way to kill Sirius.
Like, the point.
He should have lived a little bit longer.
Yeah, it wasn't a good way to kill Sirius, but it didn't make the entire book bad.
Yeah, it did. It did. The whole prophecy
thing
made no sense. What else? Like the whole Hogwarts. Weren't they mean to Harry the whole time?
Nope.
The whole Hogwarts.
Yes, they were. They were mean to Harry the whole time because the Ministry of Magic was telling everybody that Harry was wrong and a liar and just looking for clout, and everybody's parents believed the Ministry of Magic over Dumbledore and Harry, which translated to the students treating Harry poorly.
But here's the point. Here's why this makes no sense. The Ministry of Magic and these kids' parents haven't spent 5 years with Harry. All these kids have known Harry. Harry has saved most of all their lives about 5 times by now. So I think they should know by year 5 that Harry means good. He's a good guy. And he wouldn't just make up Voldemort's coming back. Voldemort was back in year 1. So he closed the Chamber of Secrets and everything else. So,
and a lot of students did believe Harry, but they were afraid to go against the Ministry. They were afraid to go against their parents. They were afraid to go against Dolores Umbridge. That was a major theme of that book, was fear holding people back. They even say the only reason Fudge was the Minister of Magic at the time, Cornelius Fudge, was refusing to accept that Voldemort could be back is because he was afraid of having to deal with Voldemort's return.
And like everything that people love, I'm not going to change your mind, but I could not disagree with that. The book was terrible. Okay, I'm not going to say
that book was book was when it stopped being about children and started being about the process of changing into adulthood.
Number 4 was Azkaban.
No, number 4 was the loss of innocence. Number 5 was being forced to grow up.
Okay, I want to clear and say there's no terrible Harry Potter book and there's no terrible Harry Potter movie, but out of 8 of them and 7 books, I would say that was the worst one. My favorite is 3 and 6. Those are my 2 favorite ones. I love the innocent ones. I love the kid ones where you spend your whole time in Hogwarts. I don't mind. Like I said, I love them all dearly, but I like the more innocent ones.
I mean,
Prisoner of Azkaban is a classic.
I can't think of which one is my least favorite. I would say probably number 3, but that's not because I didn't like it. It was just the least interesting one for me.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's what I mean. Like, I'm kind of hating on it, like I always do with everything. I go from one extreme to the other. But I like 5. I don't think it's my favorite. But also with the movies,
I
like,
liked
they leave
5
so much
because
out.
I liked 5 specifically because like it introduced Luna Lovegood, who's one of my favorite characters, and it like really paid a lot of homage to the idea that there are mysteries in the wizarding world that people just don't understand.
Okay, I have so much I want to talk about Harry Potter, so I'm just going to cut this conversation off right now because I'm about to branch into like we would be here for another hour talking about Harry Potter. So, I feel like we needed a Harry Potter dedicated podcast now because I have so much to talk about.
If you're looking for a Harry Potter dedicated podcast, I recommend checking out Super Carlin Brothers. I love them. I think they're really good at their Harry Potter theories and explanations.
Mike has resorted. Mike, have you not watched Harry Potter? You're just too busy watching.
I love
porn?
Harry Potter.
Okay.
I love Harry Potter, but I'm not, like this could be yeah.
Okay, but I have one question.
This could be its own 3-hour tangent.
So one question though: what's your least favorite and what's your favorite one? It could be movie or book. It doesn't matter.
Oh well, that's 2 different answers. So least favorite book, I would probably say, I don't know, least favorite.
Like I said, we're all agreeing they're all fantastic.
Probably,
but what one did you
probably
enjoy
Chamber
the
of Secrets would be the least favorite book.
least? Okay.
Favorite book, I liked Order of the Phoenix.
Oh my god.
Movie wise, it is probably the worst conversion out of all of them.
Right.
Is probably the worst. My favorite movie is The Goblet of Fire.
Goblet of Fire. Okay, very interesting. Very different answers. Yeah, I like my like book and movie. Prisoner of Azkaban. You know, they're not really kids. They're not really adults. The twist. If you already know the twist after rewatching it, it's not as great. But like, if you've never seen the movie or read the book, and the twist will blow your mind. Because I never saw Sirius being the good guy until it's revealed.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
And like, I never saw the time turner thing coming because already you could end the movie after the whole Whomping Willow scene, and then you have an entire ending with them going back in time, which kind of leaves a loophole in a lot of things. It's like, why don't you just go grab the time turner and do a lot of stuff?
Yeah,
you know.
That's the main problem that most people have with Prisoner of Azkaban, just in general, is it's like, okay, you introduced time travel into the series and then never used it again, despite the fact that time travel could have fixed every problem.
I feel like they did that with a lot of things that she introduced early on, and you kind of just forget about it. Not just that, but other things as well. But all right, let's move on. Swugga.
Oh, okay.
Swugga's better.
I was just gonna suggest to people, if they actually want to know about Swogga, like Tasnex just started streaming on Twitch if you wanted to jump over to him.
But I mean,
and then come back in like 20-30 minutes.
But let's be honest.
But,
this is how
are we
exciting.
going?
This is how exciting a dog being brought to the game is, though. I would rather talk about Harry Potter. But let's move on.
Yeah.
So we talked about the Gungies. Gungies were really. I call them the Gungies. They're the Gungies. I really like. They did a great job. So shout out to everyone who did. There was a lot of people behind that. C2, Kazgul also.
Tasnex won.
Oh,
not one.
Yep.
He presented.
Yep, Tasnex.
Yeah.
Sorry, let me finish answering your original question, because your original question was whether or not I plan to watch them, and then we went off about Harry Potter.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I do plan to watch them today. I will watch the VOD, because my wife is out doing stuff, so I'll have time to watch the VOD after we're done with the podcast. Okay, I'll watch the YouTube then.
Yeah.
Because the VOD will on Egnard's channel.
Okay.
Just literally look up Egnard's, and it came up straight away for me. Although it might be because I watch his. If you don't watch his stuff, maybe it won't come up. But,
and if anyone who's listening, if you have not watched it and you're a Swugga player, go watch that. It was really good. It was really good, and hopefully they can improve upon it in the years to come. Yeah, but Ray Rock, a lot of those people he reached out to, and they didn't respond. And if he didn't reach out to them, Ray Rock, It would have been a 9-hour show if we would have involved every single content creator. So, I'm sure that we will bring some ones that weren't on next year. That's why I wish they would put me on the committee, but I keep asking and he keeps denying me. I don't know what he thinks I'm going to do. But, I agree. But it's only up to him and his committee at the same time.
All right, pull up the Batcher kit so we can go through it. Oh, sorry, Betcha.
I've been meaning to ask you this, Mike. How authentic is Omega's accent? Because, like, you even pronounce it Omega.
Stop. She is fucking New Zealand. I am Australian.
Okay. I
Two
did not know
different
that.
countries.
I did not know that.
It's like saying, hey, you live near, you're American. How do Canadians say boot?
Okay.
A boot?
It doesn't matter. Its name is Bitcha. Because a female dog is a bitch. So it's Bitcha.
Isn't Batcher a male?
No. They say it in the kit
We're
review.
just girl.
It's a girl.
Oh, yeah. She's the goodest girl.
Yeah.
But Jack, you're right. I think it was very, very, very gated by the Reddit. He is at the top of the Reddit Swugga community, and I think it was very gated with that. I agree. All right, Batcher, I got it pulled up. Am I reading it? It's my
hang on. And we want to know why Bones isn't allowed on the committee?
Well, Egnard's won 3 awards. He doesn't even he makes 1 or 2 videos a fucking month. I'm sorry. I love Egnard. He is one of my all-time favorite people in the world. But I don't think you deserve to even be nominated. I think you need to be behind the scenes, running things. You can host, but you shouldn't be winning 3 awards. Like, I don't know what. Anyways, and this is me being constructive criticism. I love that man with all my heart. If I was gay, right. I would suck his balls right now. But unfortunately, I'm not.
Let's read the kit.
All right. But it was very biased. I agree. All right, Bitcha. One sexy female dog. Look at that horn on his head. Her head. Their head. Whatever it is. Okay. All right. It is just Bad Batch, nothing else, and Light Side. No one cares about the inspiration. Well, what they do say something interesting. We all wanted it to be a summon, and they mention that here. It says, we considered Batcher as a summon for Omega, but felt her role in the team was worthy of being a standalone unit. I'm sure that we all disagree with that statement, but they said that they did consider it being a summon. I think they couldn't come up with the 5th, so they're like, fuck, let's just make the summon the dog. You know what I mean?
That's what I was gonna say. Was they didn't want to make the pirate woman that had the Caribbean accent that showed them about that hidden planet. They didn't want to make her own character yet. They want to wait until they introduce the pirate characters with Skeleton Crew, and then they'll bring her in as a conquest unit.
Who?
Wouldn't she just be a mercenary?
Wait, who?
She. So in Bad Batch, I mean, she might have been in season 2, but in season 3, there was like this pirate woman who was like you know how a lot of characters in the Bad Batch are meant to represent like different locales in Earth. So she was like Caribbean kind of.
Her name is Fee Genoa.
Was that her name? Okay.
Yeah.
She was like the leader of some planet that was like hidden from the Empire and like where people were living out their life in relative peace and safety, and she brought Omega and the Bad Batch there to keep them safe.
Her name is Steve?
What?
Her name's Steve?
Yeah.
Steve? Like Steve? Like in the chat? Steve? Genoa? Okay, I don't know.
Yes.
Whatever. I don't care about Steve, so can we move on? And Sopper, you told me to watch season 2 and season 3. I will not be watching them. I already know what happens, and I could care less. Anytime it leads up to the sequels, you've automatically lost me. And Mandalorian season 3 is leading up to it.
What?
Ahsoka's leading up to it. I
That-
just check out.
Bad Batch leads up to the original trilogy.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. Bad Batch happens between episodes 3 and 4.
They start setting up about how Palpatine was cloned and everything else.
That's expanded universe shit.
No, it's not.
That's not necessarily.
They cloned
sequels.
it.
Yes, it is.
Somehow Palpatine
literally-
returned. He was cloned.
Literally, there's entire book series about
Oh my
Luke
God.
going and hunting down Palpatine clones.
Either way, yeah, just go watch Tassanex, guys, because Matthias doesn't know what he's talking about. Bad Batch.
You don't know what you're talking. You don't even know how to read.
Bad Batch is average. I don't give two fucks about these characters. I do not care about the shows. It's a 3 seasons of filler. So just so you guys know, I won't be watching it. I watched season 1 and that was plenty enough. I know that one of them dies, which I'm actually happy for. I wish they would have all just got Rogue One and we could all move on with our lives, but that's not what happened. We're getting 2 characters.
That would require Disney to kill children.
Yeah, and we're getting bottom because of season 3. We're getting bottom of the barrel characters, and I could give you 100. I could give you enough characters that are better than these that can make them go on for 5 more years. This is bottom of the barrel shit. No one asked for and no one cares about. All right, so basic crushing assault. Final text: deal physical damage to target enemy and gain speed up for 1 turn. During Batcher's turn, if the enemy was marked, inflict 2 stacks of off balance and defense down for 1 turn. So I'm going to use the same joke that I said in 3 Scoundrels. Wouldn't it be funny that when the dog put marked on a character, it goes over there and pees on him?
I was honestly like, when I read that the dog marks characters, I was like, oh god, does it piss on them? And I think they said, in the forum page, something along the lines of, be thankful we didn't go with our original idea for his marked animation.
I don't know. I have no idea.
I believe you. I don't read through the comments normally.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't in the comment. It was like up at the top of the page, I think. It said something like, maybe they edited the post and removed
No, it is there.
inappropriate.
It's literally, yeah, it is there. Bones just skipped over it all.
What are we talking about? It says something about her howling when doing a mark.
Be thankful we didn't use the original animation when we pitched Batcher marking an enemy with piercing howl.
So is that saying they were using the animation pissing on something, or
Yeah,
she was?
Yes,
Yeah,
that would joke.
the joke is that their original pitch was Batcher pissing on
See,
characters.
I didn't get that. I got that it was a piercing howl. There's no howl. There's nothing called pierce. Oh, there is piercing. But she's talking about piercing howl. I don't know. Maybe I don't give a
Well,
fuck.
it would have been called pissing howl if that was the case.
Okay. All right. So what do you guys think about the basic? This show is fucked. This show's already fucked. I don't think anyone's gonna listen to this one.
Why we need one, Brad? I mean, it's pretty good basic, right? Speed up on a basic is always pretty handy. Yeah.
Yeah, and I made the joke too soon because if the enemy's marked. But yeah, there's nothing that crazy. Do we know what off balance does, Mike or Matthias?
I did look it up the other
When
day.
the character takes damage, or whenever this character takes damage before the end of their next turn, they lose 10% turn meter and take damage equal to 10% of their max health or some crap like that.
Okay.
Kind of.
I believe it's
So-
if they take damage, they lose turn meter and take health damage, but I could be thinking of something else.
Sort of. That's days. That's damage.
No, days means
That's
they
da-
can't gain bonus turn meter.
That's damage. over
Stagger
time.
means they lose all turn meter.
I'm just trying to come up with the most simple one that's been around the longest. That's damage over time, Matthias. Are we waiting on you to look it up, or can I continue on?
Damage over time doesn't
I'm
make you lose
kidding.
turn meter.
It's a joke. It was a joke. You can't.
I want to say Off Balance came out with Padawan Sabine's kit, if Mike's trying to look it up.
Yeah. Off balance is. Yeah, lose 10% health and 10% turn meter. Yeah, Matthias was right.
Okay. All right. Special one. Piercing howl. It does not piss on anybody. It just howls. All Bad Batch allies gain 30% offense for 2 turns. Dispel all buffs and inflict marked on the enemy target enemy for 2 turns, which can't be resisted. Inflict ability block on all enemies inflicted with off balance for 1 turn, and offense down on all enemies for 2 turns. Now that's actually very interesting. It's pretty good, don't you guys think?
I do think it's really good for 2 reasons. One, we're probably going to see another character in the new Bad Batch that inflicts off balance as an AoE. So that will pair well with Batcher, because then Batcher will be able to do ability block on the entire enemy team. And 2, because we'll get to it later on in his kit, but Batcher's unique lets him ignore stealth, which means that you can dispel stealth from an enemy and mark them with Piercing Howl.
Yeah, marked is a very, very, very good mechanic where you're marking whoever you want to get to, and there's nothing the enemy team can do about it. So
it's like one of the main things for Jedi Knight Revan.
Yeah.
Is being able to mark and then mass assist on it.
Yeah.
The only real difference there is that most characters that inflict marked, the exception being when General Grievous inflicts marked on his own team, most characters that inflict marked inflict an undispellable marked. This one is not undispellable, so cleanse will still get rid of it.
Okay.
Fair enough.
All right. So the most OP animation I think I've ever seen is Ferocious Bite. And it's not even biting anybody, it's just hitting them with his horn. But okay. Special 2, and this one has an Omicron. Deal physical damage to target enemy and inflict pinned for 2 turns. Start looking up pinned. Why I'm reading
that came
this.
out with
For 2 turns and 2 stacks of bleed, max of 6, until the end of this encounter, which can't be dispelled. So what bleed does, it's negative 5% speed and tenacity, and lose 5% health each turn. Remove 1 stack when any health is recovered. Before we read the
bleed is really good. Bleed is the main reason why the Nexu mission is even remotely difficult in light side GOTB and the dark side planets in Rote.
Yep. They explained that somewhere. I'm not sure where.
Literally,
yeah, they say that the only place bleed has existed prior to this is the Nexu mission.
It might have been up at the beginning.
What does pin do?
Yeah. Can't gain bonus turn meter and has negative 25% speed. Doesn't stack with breached or speed down.
So yeah.
Okay.
So I mean that's pretty good. I mean you'll find out that this is a very short kit. Not much to it, which is very rare these days. But it seems like he still does a lot, and then not very much text.
Yeah, pinned is huge, preventing enemy, even just ignoring the minus 25% speed, which is obviously also amazing. But pinned preventing the gaining of bonus turn meter, that's huge against a lot of teams.
So as much as I don't give 2 shits about these characters, we've already had 2 out, and there's still 3 more to go, and I think this is going to be a pretty potent team, it looks like. So, and we're not even done with the kit yet, but it's really going to seem like they're going to do some work. Okay.
But the main thing is that it's a very buff heavy and debuff heavy team, which I think is kind of funny because it almost makes me feel like the old Bad Batch is going to hard counter this because of their them stripping buffs and shit like that.
That'd be funny. That would be funny. I'm hoping just to steal one of these characters and throw it in with my soon-to-be R9 old school Bad Batch and call it a day. Because I do not want to get the old Omega.
Like you said, there's still more kits to see, but I would say so far either Omega Fugitive or Batcher feels like a good, solid plug-in to the old team.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people would agree that she's a decent addition to the old Omega's a decent addition, but she is not needed. So if I could take one of these really good characters and throw it in with them, that'll be cool. So I'm working on it just the right time.
The old Omega, she's not a requirement for any unlocks. she's not. I think she's not even a platoon in rote anywhere. Like,
Yeah.
she's literally one of the most useless characters in the game. She's like at Ugnaught level of uselessness.
Yeah, she's alright. I use her with Mike, but like she doesn't turn the tide of battle anyway. Okay, so let's move on to the Omicron. The Omicron's territory wars, so I will never ever use this personally. But
going back to the platoon thing, Omega is needed at Relic 6.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, yeah,
as long
she's
as
somewhere.
As long as one person in your guild has Omega at Relic 6, you're good.
Bane says she's a platoon at R9 as well.
Yeah.
I love how Matthias is so confident, and we're like, no, that's completely wrong.
Okay, let me ask you this: how many guilds are reaching like the 6th wave of planets in row? Outside of MOAR and KOTH, how many guilds are reaching the point where they need Relic 9 platoons?
What if they're going up the light side? The light side.
If they're just only investing in light side planets the entire way up.
Yep.
So they're getting an absolute maximum of 19 stars if they're doing the Zepho planet as well.
Yep.
That sounds like a lot of effort to get shitty rewards.
Well, they might have a lot of Relic 9 Omegas.
They only need one Relic 9 Omega.
Anyways, moving on. Let's talk Harry Potter after this if we can. Territory Omicron. What if the Wiggles starred in the new Harry Potter series? Could you guys imagine the podcast then? All right. Omicron.
What if they cast a hired Wiggle for like Professor Trelawney?
Yeah. What would you do, Mike? Would you jizz yourself?
I'm not even going to comment.
What if Adrian and Chechik is
This is like a classic Stitch Up where I'm just gonna.
Adrian Chechik is Professor McGonagall.
I was just gonna say McGonagall. Good job. Yeah. What if she becomes McGonagall? She'd have to stand up straight though for 7 seasons. Okay, I'll leave you alone.
I thought there was like a joke with like transforming into a cat, but we didn't go there, so let's just keep going.
Oh, don't! Matthias will get us canceled somehow if we go that far.
No, that feels like awkward, low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, we don't steep that low, Mike. Come on now.
All right, let's go to the unique because there's something that I think we missed on Scoundrels. That
we haven't even got to the Omicron yet. To the last one, we haven't even done the Omicron yet. You guys are getting into bestiality and all this other stuff, and I still trying to get to the Omicron.
What? No, it wasn't.
Yeah, Adrian and Chechik turning into a cat. Where else would it go?
No. That a pussy cat because she's a porn star?
Yeah, she's a porn star who's turning into a cat. You're telling me just Omicron. Leave me alone. All right. While in territory wars, guys, inflict an additional stack of bleed, max of 6 until the end of the encounter, which can't be dispelled. If another Bad Batch ally is inflicted with captive, the cooldown of this ability is refreshed. Mike, you're really trying to make people to leave our... You guys don't click that. We love Tassinix, but you are stay around for this horrible content. One of the worst podcasts we've ever done, I think. Stay around, you bastards. So that seems that Omicron seems really bad. Do you guys give 2 shits about that one? Would you apply
No.
that?
I think
Even
as
a CW guy, that feels like if that ability did damage to everybody, I would say that's fucking amazing for getting stacks of target practice to free people from captive, but no, that TW Omicron's not very good.
I mean, is there anything that could include in the other 3 kits that would make this better?
Well, no, it's not horrible. The first sense where it's dealing additional bleed is not very, sure. But if another bad batch is inflicted with captive, the cooldown of that ability is refreshed, right?
Yeah.
So then you've got the inflicting pinned, like.
Oh, yeah, that is one that's pinned. You're right. Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, refreshing the cooldown when you use it is good and all, but like if I have a bad batch ally under captive and I'm going to be refreshing the cooldown on an ability, I want it to be an ability that's going to help me get them out of captive.
But this is also because in Batch's unique, she assists herself when she uses a special ability. So you've got the TW Omicron. She uses Ferocious Bite, resets her cooldown, hits with the Ferocious Bite, does a basic, resets Ferocious Bite to then just be able to keep going through. I think it could get fun, but I'm not going to apply it.
If the team had a way to like run a turn meter train, that would be awesome. But you're still going to be reliant on it cycling back to Batcher's turn.
They kind of do because Amiga already gives you bonus turn meter on one of her skills.
But the key point of captive with this team is that whenever one of your Bad Batch allies starts their turn, you lose a stack of captive, and when you hit 0, the character is defeated. So you want every turn to be gaining as many stacks of target practice as possible.
Yeah, dumbass. Everyone knows that. Come on, Mike. Duh.
Which is why I said if it's an AoE ability, I would think it's awesome. But I mean, that also obviously wouldn't work, and I think that's probably why Batcher doesn't have any AoEs, is because she assists. So you would use an AoE, and then she would assist herself and do a basic and only target one enemy, which would fuck up all of your stacks of target practice because of the way that
then you would only
work.
Yeah, you'd only then be able to hit that same target.
But I don't know. I think I would have done Batcher's kit a little differently than the way they did it. I don't think that it's necessarily bad. It's just different than the way I would have liked to have run it if I was them.
All right, I could care less. Can we move on?
Yeah.
It's TW. It's a fucking dog. Let's move on. Last thing. We've already talked way too much about this kit. His unique. Batcher's damage can't be evaded, which is pretty cool. And she ignores stealth and taunt during her turn. While another Bad Batch ally is inflicted with captive, Bitcha has 50% offense, plus 50 speed, and Piercing Howl's cooldown is reduced by 1. Batcher assists herself whenever she uses a special ability on her turn. That's pretty good. They laughed at me on Three Scoundrels, but this reminds me of like when the police just stand back and let the dog do all the work and like attack the person running away. Like they're all captive, they don't really do it, and they just let the dog, the dog can go for anybody. The dog's much faster. The dog's biting them, so he has more offense. So this is what this reminds me of. It's like, just let the dog go attack him. We'll come behind and jump on top of the guy.
After the canine unit.
Yeah, that's what it reminds me of. Like it's kind of cool. Something like a dog.
The thing that we missed on the Cantina is that her damage can't be evaded. So that means she gets around like foresight and all that sort of stuff. Or not.
Does it say damage can't be evaded or attacks can't be evaded?
Not just damage can't be evaded.
So that's any and all damage, which I haven't seen before. I don't think, have we? Is there someone's damage?
I don't think I've ever seen that exact wording. I wonder if that is just to avoid any unseen interaction that bypasses bleed.
I don't know.
I don't know. I think the only thing that I don't agree with about this unique is somebody goes under captive, she's going to start hitting harder, she's going to start taking way more turns, she gives herself speed up on her basic, plus she gains 50% speed from her unique. She's going to be taking turn after turn after turn after turn, which is cool and all. But instead of all of that, I think that this kit would have just been better if her unique, instead of all that crap, just said whenever, like, still let her ignore the taunt and the stealth, still let her damage not be evaded, but say whenever a Bad Batch ally uses an ability on their turn, Batcher assists, and then another line that says, like, Batcher is immune to daze. So that way you can't prevent the assisting.
Also, Batcher just is undefeatable.
That was a patch.
Batcher is undefeatable as long as Omega Fugitive is alive.
It's a fucking dog, Matthias. It can only do so much. It's a fucking. I can go out there and kick a dog right now, and I'm the least manliest person there is.
Instead of the dog running around doing everything itself, it makes more sense for the Bad Batch to be ordering her to help them. And so she's assisting with everybody.
I don't care. I could care less. But yeah, ignoring stealth, that's very interesting. And taunt, that's always great.
First character that does that. Every other character just dispels stealth if they're going to ignore it in capacity.
Like going back to your analogy with the police dogs, right, Bones? Mm-hmm. Their job is to literally go and find people hiding, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
so
you're right.
Thematically, it kind of makes sense that the dog goes and finds the person hiding.
Yeah.
The taunting, getting around taunt, I guess that kind of sort of you could throw back to that same analogy.
They're trained to recognize who is and is not a threat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's as soon as I read that, it stuck because we watch a lot of On Patrol Live, which is like, you know, like Cops. Cops was just cameras watching cops do their job. It's not like CSI or anything. So that's just what it reminds me of when they pull out the K9 unit. They just fucking go for them, you know, and they track them down. Yeah, so I think that's kind of what they're going for with that. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. So I have one more question. Do you guys remember how to get out of captive from Omega's kit?
You gain 30 stacks of target practice.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
By damaging the same enemy or enemies that were damaged on the previous Bad Batch ally's turn.
So does that mean to get out of captive, that said Bad Batch ally has to do damage, or can Batcher get people out of captive?
No. So
any of the Bad Batch chain.
Yeah, Bad Batch can get other people out of captive. So if you have Omega Fugitive is captive and Batcher damages an enemy, then Batcher and the other 3 uncaptive Bad Batch allies will each gain a stack of target practice. So that's 4 stacks. And then Batcher assists himself and damages that enemy again. That's 4 more stacks. So now you've gained a total of 8 out of 30 stacks of target practice. The next guy takes his turn. He uses his basic. You gain 4 more stacks, and so on and so on.
I think he's going to be key to getting people out of that unique right there is what's going to get people out of
probably
captive. Or
I think so far we've seen we've now gotten 2 characters on this team that do not have an AoE. And I think part of that is to avoid captive being too easy to get out of. Because, like, in the Omega Fugitive marquee events, you can see just from testing with her and the original 4 Bad Batch characters, if you go into a battle, and one of the tiers, Omega Fugitive, was literally, like, she starts in captive, so you can, like, get used to getting out of that. If you do AoE on Tech, Echo, and Wrecker, or Hunter, or whoever, like if you do 3 AoEs back to back and it hits all 5 enemies each time.
Oh god, not this argument again.
You instantly gain enough stacks to immediately get out of captive.
Mike, do you agree or disagree? I remember Mike had a strong stance on this mechanic.
No, Mike's whole thing was if anybody dodges, it fucks the chain, which it does.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you're continually hitting all 5 members, you're sweet. If one misses and then you have only hit 4, then the next time you hit 5, you fuck up.
Mike, can I start putting accuracy arrows right now on this team? Can I finally
Yes.
have a place for my accuracy arrows?
Confirmed. No,
Yeah,
okay.
I would say accuracy arrows would not be the worst idea, but a speed arrow is probably still better, realistically.
I wouldn't be rushing until you see the rest of the team, because if the rest of the team, like Mateus said, there's no AoEs, then it kind of is pointless, because you're just going to be... Although you still want to... If you miss... No, you don't.
But-
if you miss, it's fine, because it's the next hit. Yeah.
Yeah, if you miss on the basic, it doesn't fuck anything up.
Yeah.
So
you're
I
still going to
actually
hit that same one eventually.
After we had that conversation last week, I spent the next couple of days in the marquee, like running a bunch of tests with target practice and captive. Well, not captive, just specifically target practice to get an exact readout on how it all works. I put it in our Discord channel under podcast discussion, but the following is how I found that it works with AoEs and everything. So if only one enemy was targeted and you use an AoE and damage multiple enemies, you will gain no stacks of target practice and you will reset your stacks. So that's because you damaged an enemy that was not targeted before. If all enemies were targeted and you only use your basic and damage one enemy, you will gain 1 stack of target practice per character and your stacks will not reset. If all enemies were targeted and you use an AoE, each Bad Batch ally will gain 5 stacks for a total of 25 stacks. However, one thing that I did find is that if you kill an enemy, then it completely negates like target practice in general, gaining stacks.
Yeah.
So
the kill shot.
if you have your targeted enemy is in red and you use an AoE and that enemy dies and the other 4 enemies take damage, it does not reset anything and you do not gain any stacks. And you can then target whoever you want on the following turn, and it won't reset your stacks.
The kill shot's a bit unique, at the moment at least. Yeah.
And I know everything that I said went completely over Bones' head, and he probably fell asleep listening to me talk about it, but people listening in on the podcast, this might be important.
Yeah, I paid no attention. I've tuned out since we were talking about the Omicron, so...
Yeah.
Bones stopped listening at Harry Potter.
Yeah, when we talking about Harry Potter, I was done.
All right.
I could not give 2 fucks less. And if Womp was here, we'd still be talking about, it's basic. You know what I mean? Like, how great the basic would be on a fucking team of, Bodhi Rook and Ugnaught. And how that could possibly uplift the team.
No, shit tier theory crafting is my job, not Womprat's job.
He has some deep cuts. I'm not saying Womp's wrong. I'm just saying he has some really deep cuts that we could go on further. Is there anything else to talk about?
Yeah, there's a couple other topics.
All right.
Mainly news stuff now.
All
right. So, the Naboo raid updates are actually in game now. So quickly recap, because I think were they out last time? I can't remember whether we've spoken about them.
They had announced the changes were coming, but the updates had not gone live yet.
Yeah. So we spoke about it last week. If you want to know what the changes are, go back to there. Have you done any raid attempts, Bones, with the update?
So you guys are going to be very surprised and saddened to hear that I get about 3 million total. The only level 5, tier 5 that I do on is my Gungans. Before the change, very, very rarely, I do everything on auto. I'm not going to sit there and fucking keep trying over and over again. I'm not going to keep manualing anything. Nothing. It's all on auto. So I think my Gungans are Relic 7. Whatever the highest you can do. Tier 5 is the highest I can do. So whatever that is. But this time I autoed it and easily got full score. Usually I get close, but I never finish the last wave. I usually get to the last wave, but can't finish it. So right there, I saw a difference. And then everything else that I have is tier 1. So I think it's like 450k for the last wave. I was able to finish like with my B2 team, with the Luminara team, I'm usually able to finish it. But it seemed a lot easier, a little bit quicker with those two teams. So I didn't notice a huge difference on tier 1, but it's fucking tier 1. So I'm not a great person to ask about that. But it did seem easier. It really did. I seem to get a little bit farther.
And that aligns with what other people are saying, like Wamprat also talked about in our chat yesterday, that with these new changes, the raid is significantly easier and people are posting much higher scores on auto, which kind of aligns with exactly what I said last week, was that I think that all these changes are going to do is make people get better scores. I don't think that you're going to change your strategy at all, except for maybe like on the Luminara team, occasionally delaying using Kit Fisto's potency up by a turn. But that's it. I think that these raid changes are just going to massively inflate people's scores.
I definitely while I was after watching the Gungis, I sat and did a couple of runs. So Keller and Beck in the Luminara raid, Luminara could get the max pretty consistently, probably sort of like 80%. First go, max raid, max score. And the Keller and Beck one, I can normally get to like the last wave, but then they're already in what's it called? Enrage, so they just fuck me up. But once again, first time with Keller and Beck, so I've got another 2 runs left, I think. So I'll have more information sort of next week, but it definitely is a lot easier being able to know when he's going to use the dispel. So yeah.
Why are you
I think it's definitely
sandbagging the raid?
positive.
Why are you sandbagging the raid? Just do it.
What do you mean?
Them all. Do all your attempts.
It started 6 hours ago, mate.
So? As soon as I go in and do it, I do them all. What's the point of waiting around?
All right, guys, let's just go watch Tassanex, and I'll go do my raid.
When you pause the podcast, Mike is going to go, he's going to live stream his raid attempts to Discord, and Bones is going to pull them up on the stream, and everybody in the chat can watch Mike do his raid
attempts. But you've already done 3 attempts.
I ran out of time.
So everybody on Spotify is going to be like, bro, did my fucking Spotify break? Why is it quiet?
I never once said we need to stop the stream for you to do raid attempts. Anyways, let's read. I want to read. I want to read from the chat real quick because they have some interesting things saying. Ray Rock got a max score of 10.8, which I'm guessing is an all-time high. Ray Rock, is what you're saying. TK's talking shit, talking about me. Nearly a 12 million roster, pulling 2 million in the raid. TK, imagine how Avant feels. but what do I do? Norelli said he went from 5.5 million to 7.2. Nice. Rock said no. I followed the same strategy with Lumi team yesterday and got max score. Okay.
I didn't even change mods for my Luminara team. It might actually be because the theory was that you had Kit Fisto go after the command droid. Whereas obviously now it's not a big deal. So that might be the only thing to change. But I still managed to do it with him starting after the command droid. So yeah, doesn't look like anything's really changed modding wise for people who are doing that. But yeah.
Bane said he got 12.9 and only restarted twice. Nice. Good job. All right. So at least it's not making it harder either way. Do you guys? We asked this question in 3 Scoundrels. Do you guys think this is to prolong the longevity of the raid?
I really wish Womp was here.
Oh,
Can I just say what I said on the Scoundrels?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, go Mateus.
Funny enough, Mike was running a poll in our Discord for everybody who's in our Discord, asking all of our fans and people who
Well, that
watch
was
us
last week.
question. Yeah, last week, but we didn't talk about the results of the poll last
Yeah, we
week.
did.
Did we?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
I never heard about
Yeah.
a poll.
Yeah, I don't think you brought it up last week.
Just talk about it. It's okay. We're talking.
All right.
It's relevant.
Go on the Mateus.
I am of the opinion that this 100% means that we are going to have the Naboo raid for a full 12 months.
12
Just-
more years. 12 more years.
12
of
more
years.
Yeah, I think a full 12 months of Naboo raid is what this means. With the announcement that due to bandwidth issues, they're not giving us an event at the end of this era, and them making changes to the raid so far into its cycle. I think that this is just it. All signs point to we're not going to get a new raid until the end of the next era.
No matter how much you hate this raid, no matter how bad it is, it should be a 12-month cycle. It should not be 7 months or 6 months. And I don't like it, but I know people that really hate it. How do you know the next raid's going to be better? Because remember how much we hated the indoor one? Like, we all hated it. And then we went to this raid.
Wait,
I
didn't hate it.
Mike,
Literally
you're a raid guy.
anybody.
Mike, you love all the raids.
I'm gonna be honest. Anybody who has even like the faintest bit of motion sickness hated Endor because that raid was awful. The raid could literally be solved by doing abilities in a certain order. Like there was literally a flow chart for Leia. There was a flow chart of if your Leia meets these stat requirements, press these buttons in this order and you will get max score.
Yeah, so you didn't have to worry about the motion sickness because you literally focused on 3 buttons in the corner.
But what I'm saying
But I'm
is,
saying, how stupid is that? That there's a fucking Konami code for max score?
but okay, my point is I would do anything to go back to that. I despise that raid. I hated that raid. But now that I've dealt with this raid, I would love to go back to it. So my point is how do we know that the next raid's going to be better? It could be worse than this one.
There's
You
a cycle of each raid being worse than the previous one. Because what raids have we gotten since the new one came out? We got Crate, then Endor, then Naboo. Endor was worse than Crate, and Naboo was worse than Endor.
Yeah. So there's no guarantee it's better. So no matter what you think is going to happen, I think it needs to be a 12-month cycle is what I'm coming down to. 6, 7, 8 months is too short because some people it takes a long time to get farmed up, And then as soon as you do, you're starting a new one again.
If you have teams for your guild, and let's say, because we didn't, we had a good number of people that were Jar Jar ready by the time he came back 3 months into the raid cycle, but then we had a good number of people that still weren't ready until he came back again, which was 8 months into the raid cycle?
No, we're not at 8 months yet.
When did he come back again?
2nd of July is when it started. So we are coming into the 7th month of the raid.
Okay, so
6 days. 7
3
days.
months and 6 months, but even back when we were first talking about whether or not to push for Jar Jar being a guild goal in our Discord, Nihilus, who was a guest many months ago on this podcast, said, he was like, listen, if people don't get Jar Jar by the first go around, they might as well not even bother because he's not going to be worth the investment because the raid will only be for a couple of months. So, at least the people who didn't get Jar Jar until the second time, at least if the raid goes for a full 12 months, they're going to get a full 6 months of use out of him in the raid.
Also, TK and everyone listening on Spotify, yes, I am wearing one of those blanket hoodies. It's so fucking cold in my room that I now have to put it up.
Snuggie.
I got a Snuggie on. I don't care. I don't care what I look like right now. I go out in public looking like this. It's so fucking cold.
All right, so the Womp has been on this train that basically the raid is still on track, right, for the 9 months. So it started in July, so 9 months gets us to April, beginning of April, which is actually when the next era will start. So we've got probably the 12th or something of April, around that time would be when the new era starts, which would then directly relate to whatever the raid is. And the more and more you look at it, the more and more you'd say, it's sort of starting to make sense. Mainly because, like, this era, Meathead has actually said that the whole bandwidth thing, right? So whatever this era was building up to is being delayed because of bandwidth issues. So I think the raid is still on track. 9 months, and we could definitely have information on the next raid.
How many months has it been? Because it seems like a lot.
7 months. Yeah.
It's
in
about to
like
be at
6
7.
days. Yeah.
All right, Womprat. If it's one day over 9 months, you're wrong.
So, so I think that they're not going to give us the new raid without giving us at least some warning in advance, right? Even with the Naboo raid, they told us like almost a full month in advance that the raid was coming. So it would mean that we have 1 month to receive news about the raid based on that cadence.
Which would be the information about the era.
Yeah, which
Like
would
they did
also
with
be
the Bad Batch and that. Yeah.
But so I suppose that's possible. But I don't see them, one, giving us that much information in a single post because they don't do road aheads anymore. And two, I don't know, I'm kind of in the wheelhouse where I think that Bad Batch 2 is going to be required for the raid, and by the time that comes around, we won't have the full team, I don't think.
The other thing that I also brought up on Scoundrels, the next Conquest character will be unlocked in April. Which Queen Amidala, same sort of situation. She was unlocked just before the raid. They have said that the GL, so Ahsoka will get her own raid. So, sort of a side tangent that, because I think we'll get to it actually. It's in the viewer questions, I think, about what we think the next Conquest character will be. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think you were definitely wrong, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, I think Womprat's timeline is, at the moment, it looks like it's 100% possible. Yeah, it all sort of lines up. So.
Why is Womprat now the go-to guy for just this is what's happening? Why don't we listen to me sometimes? Why is Womprat just? Has he proven anything? Has he proven to be right yet?
You guess where he has a lot of estimated educational guess where he's like, all right, if this happens, this will be the end goal. Whereas you're just like,
I have a
fucking 12 months, it'll be here.
I have a question, though.
So,
how many eras of content has he been through to be able to go off of this past info?
But it's not so much about the eras information. It's just that all of these things end in April. So for that to be the starting point for the next thing, and what is the next big thing we're waiting for?
Their cadence has completely changed. Completely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Completely.
I gotta agree with Glenn that the history of how they've done things in the past does not matter.
It is completely changed. You cannot go off of the past 9 years.
I tried Womp.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Womprat, just stop. And you're about to get Womp. If you don't come on next week, you're demoted to special guest. And Matthias is also going to be a special guest. If you don't, one more week. So please keep your status. We don't want Matthias as a co-host. We need you. So I love you. I love you dearly, you sexy bearded man. But I think I'm more.
Like Matthias?
No, he has no beard. Look at
I
his
don't
little
know
baby
beard
face.
now.
Can you grow a
Goodness
beard?
sake. He has had a beard.
I normally have a beard.
Do you? I don't know. Can you grow it back?
Yeah, I had to go do military stuff this week, so I had to shave.
How come
So it's growing back.
They don't make you shave your head?
No.
I thought that was a military thing.
I just have to keep my hair short on the sides, that's all.
Do they make you shave
Why
your
the
pubes?
side?
Military requirements say that you're not supposed to have hair touching your ears.
Why?
Yeah, why is that important? They don't want hippies.
I know-
200 years decided that's what looks good, and we just keep that culture alive for no good reason.
Heaven forbid that a piece of hair sticks out underneath your helmet.
They don't want hippies,
And that's
right?
that's what the enemy sees.
They don't want goddamn hippies infiltrating the army.
I mean, the reason we're supposed to stay clean shaven goes back to like World War I with like gas masks needing to have a good seal on your face, and if you had facial hair, it would prevent the seal. So,
But wouldn't you want to stay warm in the trenches?
what? They don't care about how comfortable you are.
Well, I want to be warm
What?
if I'm going to be killing people.
All right.
So I'm over
So
here
do you
fucking
want to
shivering.
die from a gas attack,
No, but see,
or do you want to be
Bones.
warm?
Bones, you want to be comfortable. The Army, the Navy, the Air Force, whatever. Well, the Air Force does give a shit about how comfortable their people are, but that's a completely different topic. But the branches that are
diss?
actually
Is that a diss at the
military
Air
branches,
Force?
not a bunch of little babies. Like
Right.
they cannot give a
Sorry.
fuck about how comfortable you are.
Sorry, guys, about
Well,
knocked
see-
my entire table over.
See, the Air Force, you got the aviators and a MO, so they're cool with that, right?
No, that's more of a U.S. military thing about how the Air Force is actually just the chair force, and they're a bunch of babies that sit around and don't actually work,
Yeah, I caught that.
and then complain when their lobster dinner isn't cooked well enough.
Hold on, I got a song. Driving to the danger zone. Danger zone. Anybody?
Highway to the danger zone.
What's the lyrics?
Highway.
Highway. It's a highway to the danger.
To
And we
the
talked about
danger
Top
zone.
Gun. And Top Gun is not about Air Force. The pilots are actually in the Navy in Top Gun.
Okay, that makes no sense. I said drive. to
See,
the-
even Shocker, who hasn't been to a concert, knows the lyrics. Bones, come on.
What?
It
Knows
seems
what?
counterintuitive. But, so
Even he knows the lyrics.
You guys.
the
got it.
Air Force pilots drones, right? So they don't really have a whole lot of actual pilots that fly planes because the majority of what they work with are drones. So the Army and the Marines have helicopter pilots, and the Navy has fighter jet pilots because we have aircraft carriers, which is what the majority of the fighter jets will take off from to go do missions.
So that's why
Can I
AP,
just link Tassanex again?
that's why AP Games went to the Air Force. That's where I'd be going if I had to join one branch or the other.
What were we talking about before you started shitting on me for not having a beard?
Well, I'm
You were
just saying-
talking about how sexy my beard
About
was.
Wompride not being here, and
Yeah,
anyway.
and how I'm more right than he is usually. 'Cause
okay, cool.
He goes
next
off
topic.
facts. Facts don't tell you anything. They don't.
I think, yes.
Apparently not.
To answer your original question, Bones, of why people give a shit about what Womprat's predictions are more than yours, is because, like Mike said, Womprat tends to base his predictions off of mathematics and history and previously observed facts, whereas yours tends to be more off of your gut feeling and general spite towards CG.
In my heart.
But
You have to
yeah,
go
that's
through-
where the spite comes from.
you have
your
to come
heart.
from your heart sometimes. Yeah, and a lot of people will tell you to follow that gut feeling.
But and I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just telling you why most people would go with what Womp Rat's predictions are over yours. But I think that while Womp Rat has good points with like this is what we've seen in the past, this is where these dates are lining up together with April being a focal point where we're going to get a lot of new things and new information. I think that Womp Rat is correct in assuming that something big is going to happen or get announced in April.
Oh, wait. I've been saying that for months now. Something big's coming, and I've been getting laughed at for months.
I haven't been laughing at you. I have not been laughing at you.
We're laughing with you.
Don't give Womp Rat that credit, because I've been saying that.
All I'm saying is that Womp Rat thinks it's going to be the raid. I think Womp Rat is wrong, and the raid is not coming in April, and we're not going to get the raid until July.
Matthias.
I think something else is coming in April.
Matthias, listen to your heart when it's all you can do. I don't know where you're going, and I don't know why.
We're not allowed to sing unless people give us gift subs.
Listen to your heart.
People have to pay for it.
Also, if you watch my streams with Matthias, you are one of my biggest supporters. So is Mike. How many times do you hear, listen to your sister, Bones was right? You're hearing it more and more and more.
For, but you've been saying it more and more lately.
Okay, you like Star Wars. At the end of Return of the Jedi, when he saves Vader and they take off his mask, he goes, Luke, tell your sister you were right. And like he dies.
I don't remember him saying that.
And then he goes, leave me? I mean, that's what he says.
I'm gonna have to watch that final scene again because I don't remember Vader ever once during the original trilogy even referencing the fact that Leia was his daughter.
Remember how we just went through the whole driving to the danger zone, highway to the danger zone?
Yeah.
Just keep that in mind.
Okay, but guys, does it not say that? Tell your sister you were right. But we say Bones instead. Yeah, go search it up. There's nothing else to talk about. So go search it up while you're over there. Because I am right most of the time.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go and watch that again and verify the validity of your statement. But I truly do not remember that being something that Darth Vader says to Luke.
Either way, I've been hearing that a lot lately. More and more than ever.
The idea seems... I can see it being a possibility because they do talk about Leia saying that there's still good in Vader. So remember that there is a I don't think it's that wording, but it could be possible.
Okay, hold on.
Luke, there's still good in him. I can sense it. Leia doesn't say that shit.
Hold on. I can tell you right when he knows that Leia. He reads when they're fighting in the Emperor's throne room. Right whenever Luke's hiding and behind like some pillar and he's walking around talking, and he pisses off Luke, and then Luke comes out from behind it and like pretty much beats his ass and cuts his hand off. Right before that, he goes, he's like reading his mind or something, and he says something like, "Oh, there's another," or "your sister," or something like that. I don't remember exactly what he says, but right then Vader realizes he has a sister. Right then and there. And I'll have to find that quote as well.
Yeah, I'm going to have to watch that movie again, or at least like the last 30 minutes of that movie again.
Yeah, like the last 30 minutes, like from the fight on. But just
do you reckon Tassanex would know? Can we ask him? Just send a few people over.
Let's go. See, once again, Ray Rock says I'm correct. There you go.
Wow.
Okay.
There you go.
Ray Rock knows his shit. I always trust Ray Rock, and he knows when someone's right. Norelli,
that is just
Ray Rock is a credible source. I would trust him.
Norelli just posted a YouTube clip. Go click on it right now, Matthias. We don't need you right now. There's nothing to talk about.
All right. Okay.
No. Essex goes, Essex, I don't want to add fuel to the fire, but Bones is right. I know my original trilogy. Like, I can't quote them, but I know my shit.
I didn't specifically say you were wrong. I said I don't remember that scene.
Oh, I just want to tell you right now that I'm right, so you don't have to go check.
Okay.
Okay, so don't need to go check it out. Just know that I'm
You're,
right.
yep. You're correct.
All
Good
right.
for you, Bones.
All right. So grow a beard.
A blind squirrel finds his nut twice a day.
With all that being said, grow your beard back. When I cut my beard, I have zero chin. So imagine like this part not here. This and below, I have zero chin. It's really strange. It's very, very strange. I'll never cut my beard. Yeah, do you guys remember before the special edition, the original song at the end? Yub nub, it's your canoe, and Tyler too. Yub nub.
Back when Han actually shot first.
Yep, and then they put Anakin in Hayden Christensen, which looks really weird.
Some random fucking actor that nobody had seen at any other point in the series, instead of just like a CG transposed Hayden Christensen.
And all the characters who died, they look like in a ghost form how they did when they died. Why did Vader die and now went completely back to his 20s again? Yeah. I also
maybe he liked that version of himself better.
You can't choose. Only the Force chooses for you. Don't you think Obi-Wan would want to go back to his beautiful bearded form? Back in
Imagine
the 20s?
He was troubled at that time.
Imagine young Anakin appears there and like Yoda and Obi-Wan turn and look at him and they're like, wait, we could have fucking picked what we look like?
That would have been funny. And another random thing is like when Yoda dies, I never noticed this. I've watched the fucking movie 1,000 times and I saw like a meme or something, but like how he just like talking regularly and they're eating supper and he just kind of walks and like everything is fine. Nothing looks out of place. He just walks along, lays down, and just dies out of nowhere. And I never even thought that stood out.
Like,
but as a parent, you can relate to that. Your kid just keeps talking and talking and talking. Anyway.
What were you saying?
It actually wasn't Yoda's time. He was just so tired of listening to Luke's bullshit that he used the Force to stop his own heart.
Yep, he was tired of hearing the Luke whine.
Yeah.
All right. What else do we got, Michael?
Okay, so Huge Wang is now farmable on light side 3F and replaces Dacha, which is sure, whatever.
About time. I am so happy about that. It doesn't affect me, but
Dacha is one of the Jawas, right? So is he just farmable in the Galactic War currency now?
He's in one of them, yeah. He's always been there.
Either way, who gives a shit? It's a fucking Jawa. He's somewhere. Go click find.
Yeah.
Hey, what about all the new players that are tuning into our podcast to learn more about the game, and they really want to farm their Jawas because they missed the Lightspeed bundle?
We're not the place for them to be learning.
Yeah, I'm saying, if you're here to learn, I'm telling you, this is what I'll teach you. You don't need Dathcha. You'll be just fine not farming him. I've gotten by 9 years without farming Dathcha.
What if they bring back the Challenge Rancor raid and people need to build up their Rey Jawa squad for Phase 1?
I went through Heroic. I went through every raid, and I never had Dathcha. You'll be just fine. And if you
Mike, you used to use Rey Jawas for Phase 1, didn't you? Wasn't it actually a solid team?
It was a pretty good team. Yeah, it was good, like 5 to 8%, I think, from memory.
Now, if it does come around, then we'll teach them. But right now, you don't need Dathcha, and you're not going to ever do the Heroic raid again.
Didn't you just say that there was something big coming?
Yeah, not the Heroic raid that we did 3 years ago. That's not what I'm...
It wasn't a Heroic, it was a Challenge Rancor raid.
Yeah.
It used to be the only source of all the materials.
My favorite part was just people sacrificing Rose Tico to the Rancor.
Yeah.
To start out every challenge. That was hilarious. It's still only her.
No. Phase 2. It wasn't the start of it. It was for Phase 2. because the Rancor
Yeah.
would start with the what do they call the eating thing?
Yeah, like an insta kill type thing.
Yeah, his annihilate ability or whatever it was. But yeah, that was always funny. Yeah, and I mean, I think Arnold started that because every time he would do his Rancor attempts on stream, he would always like, "All right, it's time for a moment of silence for Rose Tico."
And to this day, it's the only use she's ever had.
Yeah, when we were doing Challenge Rancor, the only like Relic 5 character I had that wasn't like really part of any team for the raid was General Grievous, so I just used to sacrifice General Grievous to the Rancor. But
anyways, huge wing is farmable. So
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Stap is now accelerated, which means he's been out for 12 months. Stap, yeah.
Stop it. Stop it.
And there's a few bug fixes for characters and that, nothing overly relevant, just like minor things. Probably the biggest one was that when Omega and Batcher were in battle, if they were captured and then finished the battle, the next time they came into battle, they were unkillable, provided they were by themselves and captured, which obviously is quite fun, right? That you come in
So, like,
and...
are you talking about like if you finished wave 1, then on wave 2 they would be unkillable? Or are you
No.
saying like you went into Galactic War, got them captive, finished the battle, you could then load up a GAC battle with Omega and Batcher and they would be unkillable?
No. So, like, if they were in GAC, you had, like, the entire Bad Batch team, whatever, but had those two on the team. You go in, they kill off the rest of the team, Omega or Batcher are captured, they somehow win the battle. The next time that someone tried to verse you, they would then be unkillable.
On defense. Okay.
Yes, on defense.
I wonder.
Yeah.
So, is there a GAC where someone, if you wailed on them day one, was that able to be used in Grand Arena?
I'm thinking probably
My-
TW.
Oh, TW. Okay.
My main confusion.
Oh no, well Batcher
is-
isn't even in game, so it would be testing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so my question is, why did they even tell us about this if it only affected the people who were still testing Batcher prior to release?
Because it
Like,
looks like
that
they're
just
fixing
falls under,
stuff.
like, normal bug fixes prior to character release. You don't need to tell your entire fan base about it.
Here's why, because Mike's right. They want you to either know or think they're testing. Because how much shit do they get for not testing? Like, even the biggest shills give them shit for not testing their stuff. So, the biggest
I guess that's a
apologists.
good point.
So they're going like, hey, we're testing, okay? That's exactly
Like,
what
see, we tested Batcher. We found this one major bug that we fucked up, and we fixed it.
That's exactly what
Yeah.
it is.
I don't think you're wrong.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
So Bones was right? Would you say?
a few weeks ago, they said that they fixed a bug that made it so in Leviathan mirror matches, the ship with the stacks, whatever Marauder or whatever it was, Mark 6 Interceptor, whatever. They said they fixed a bug that made it so in a Leviathan mirror match, the ship would enter with enough stacks to perform 2 insta kills. And they're right. They did technically fix it because it used to enter with 90 and then you could insta kill twice.
Yeah.
But now enters with 80. So you can insta kill, use the ability to gain 10 stacks, and then insta kill again.
Yeah.
They didn't actually fix the. They just like somehow knocked 10 stacks off of it.
No, in the old days, you could, if you lasted long enough or whatever, you could get 2 insta kills off. You just have to make sure you use your.
No. I'm not saying that. Yeah, you've always
I
been
know what you're
able
talking
to
about.
do the 2.
Avant told me about it, where you could do 2 in a row. I know what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying.
But it was. What it relied on was if you used Leviathan to take control of the enemy Leviathan before calling in the Interceptor, then it would count the enemy Leviathan ship as a Sith that you had reinforced and gain the interceptor, the stacks for it. And instead of just making it so it no longer counts that Leviathan, they just made it so that Leviathan gives fewer stacks than normal. So now you can't use 2 insta-kills back to back. You have to take a turn to gain stacks between them. When they should have just made it so that Leviathan doesn't fucking count.
I fell asleep. You started talking about ships.
I'm the only person who gives a shit about ships.
Pretty much.
I used to, but they've
I
pissed me off.
have now gotten to the point where my fleet arena, I think, has given up knocking me back, because I can literally go in and just do manual battle until I can reinforce with scimitar, and then I press auto, and that's all I do now. And I bring in only scimitar and oh god, what's the other one? Fuck, what is it called?
You know we
The
don't
Sith
have
Assassin
to.
one.
You know we don't have to make this show 3 hours. Like we're at an
No.
hour 50, and we've went off the rails so much. We're kicking ass. We don't have to do it.
Yeah.
We don't have to talk about ships.
Our fans expect 3 hours of bullshit, and I aim to provide.
I'm just fucking with you, Mike. You can finish your thing. I'm just trying to get.
No, that's it.
Okay.
I can now get first in fleet arena because of it.
No, Matthias, don't continue. Do not keep going on about ships. I'm literally annoyed. Don't.
I'm about to be fucking saying I used to give a shit about ships, but ever since they added dick plate to the game, I don't even give a shit about ships anymore because they ruined the entire fucking experience with that
crazy?
one ship.
It's the dick plate won an award at the Gungies.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
I've never heard anyone say they enjoyed this meta that's going on right now.
This meta of shit is fucking awful.
So before I forget it,
next
Mike,
topic.
Mike, before I forget, you said I wasn't wrong. So now I'm going to change my saying to tell your sister Bones wasn't wrong. So that you can't really say I was right, but you can still get around saying I was right by saying I wasn't wrong. So guys, that's what we're going to start saying now. Bones wasn't wrong.
All right. Okay. Last topic before we get into questions is I did the podcast poll again today. Today for me. Just a really funny, stupid one. Will they eventually put Finalizer and Radis missions into the Journey Guide permanently so they're not in the events tab? You know, in the bottom corner, it says you've got 2 fucking events and you go in and it's those 2 missions, even though I've got them both fucking 7 stars.
Yeah.
What do you think, Bones?
Yeah, shut up, Matthias. It's my turn now.
I am the captain now.
Yes, Smee, SM33, go fucking pilot the ship, you hear me?
Well, it's actually, like, I was thinking Captain Phillips, but sure.
Well, I mean, the captain ship, I'm not going to get into spoilers, but, I mean, will they ever? I guess not, but it is very annoying. I've talked about this a few months ago, like, can we put, like, marquees in those 2, like, in a separate tab? You have several tabs on the side right now. So why can't you just take these, the marquees that I've already done that keep popping up, like the old ones and stuff. Old events, right? Old events that we cannot do, that benefit us absolutely zero, that only benefit the beginners or whatever, or people that don't have these. Put them in their own tabs. Yeah. I mean, it's very small. Some people are going to roll their eyes at us complaining about it, but it's annoying. And when I have to log in every fucking day for the rest of my life, because this game will never quit, and they'll never stop until they're like releasing fucking pieces of grass or fucking trees, Star Wars trees. It's gonna, they're gonna get to that point, and they're still gonna keep going. It's always gonna be there.
Those trees will probably unaligned Force users.
Yes,
because
they're UFOs. Yes, because
the Force flows through them.
Yes, but there's no good or evil trees. They're only UFOs.
Oh, so they're neutral.
Yeah, trees are neutral. Everything's UFO. You can't be good or bad anymore. With politics these days, you can't be a good person. You're just gray. There's
Right, Matthias?
There's no good. You just when you hit the top of UFO or like the top of gray, you're just really gray. You can't be actually good. And you can't be bad. You're just at the bottom of being the bottom of gray. So there's no evil anymore. There's no good. It's just you're gray. Everyone's gray. If you're a piece of shit murdering people at 45, you had a really bad childhood. So we feel bad for you.
Bones, can you shut the fuck up already?
What has that got to do with the events tab? How do we get here?
We're talking about UFO trees. Trees that are UFO. And my fucking rants, I'm tired of UFOs. Like, go back to good and bad. Fuck.
So, firstly, in reference to you saying something about a tree being an unaligned force user, in the universe, there is a tree that is a Jedi.
There's a geode, too, in the High Republic. That's a rock that pilots ships.
Yeah, there's literally a tree that is a Jedi. They're being attacked by the temple of, like, Sith trainees, and while they're in the woods, this tree is, like, lurking in wait for the Siths, and then he, like, springs into action, cuts down a tree with his lightsaber, and the tree falls over and crushes, like, a bunch of people, and then he goes back to sleep.
Wait, he murdered his own people? Is he that Jedi, then? I think he's now UFO.
He, like, after he's done, he like puts his hand on the stump and he apologizes to the tree for doing that to it.
Was it absolutely necessary he murdered his own kinfolk, or could he have done something different?
Probably not. You definitely probably could.
What's this in? A comic book?
No, it's one of the old books about Luke's Jedi Temple.
So I just rested my case without meaning to. There's gonna be when they've absolutely sucking our assholes dry, and we've all mortgaged our house, and our kids are living in cardboard boxes because the prices have went up on packs, and the last character in is gonna be this fucking UFO tree who murders his own people. He's not a Jedi. He's now UFO. So, but you're going to say in 35 years, your kids are going to be saying Bones was right. So just remember that. When
Bones wasn't wrong.
This game is still running on the same engine it was 40 or 50 years ago. It's still going to be here.
Spaghetti.
Yeah.
So to answer the question about the events, so if Finalizer and Radis were going to get put in the events tab, they would have already done it. Why have they not done it yet? Simple. You can do the event one time a day, or you can do the event once a day for 10 shards. If it was in the events tab, like the Chimera...
I thought they didn't. I thought they took that away from us. Have you actually tried to do that?
No. If you've got it 7 stars, you can't do it.
Yeah. For people who do not have it at 7 stars yet.
Right.
You can do it once a day for 10 shards, and that's starting at 4 stars, which it means 25 battles, right? If it was in the events tab, like the Chimera, it would be 1 battle per tier to get enough shards to upgrade it to the next star level. They don't want to do that because as is, it's going to take you 25 days to get it from 4 stars to 7 stars, or it's going to take you 7 days, 1 full week, to take it from 4 stars to 5 stars for the requirement to unlock SLKR or Ray. Well, they released this Lightspeed bundle that gives you everything for unlocking SLKR except for a 5-star finalizer. You buy the Lightspeed bundle, you want to get SLKR, you've got all the relic requirements, the only thing you're missing is the finalizer, so what do? You go into the event. You do the battle, you get your 10 shards, and then you go, wait a second, I still need 55 more shards to get this guy to 5 stars so I can unlock SLKR. Oh, but I can refresh it. And it only costs 2,000 crystals for me to refresh it, or whatever the number is. So then people are spending money to refresh their attempts, even though the event's going to be back tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day. They're still hoping people will spend money to refresh the attempts to get the ship faster, which is why they're never going to move it to the events tab. They're never, or the journey guide. I mean, it's always going to stay in the events tab.
I think they just forgot.
I don't think they forgot. I think that they had it set up to be a monthly event. All they did was go in to their shitty little spaghetti code and reset the timer. So instead of coming back every 30 days, now it comes back every 24 hours. And they said, that's good enough.
All right, podcast questions.
Okay.
Oh,
Thank
how
you,
many
fuck.
people voted on the poll?
3.
100% of people said that CG forgot it was there.
But how many?
I don't
4?
think that.
Mike was the only one.
5.
Mike, I was close. Mike was the only one.
5 people voted on the poll and said that they think CG forgot it was there. So obviously that's what happened.
It's confirmed.
That's how this works.
The Huts Hangout really have the pulse of the community here.
Yeah. So, okay, this week's podcast questions. Our first question comes from Tony, who I believe is a member of our guild.
Tony, love you, brother. Miss you. Hope all's well.
Yeah, Anthony. Tony. He says, this was the question Mike
That's a guy
mentioned
without
earlier.
a shin.
What?
A guy without a shin. Tony.
Ah.
You're stupid. Have you guys ever watched King of the Hill? King of the Hill. Hank's dad. Hank's dad's
Dad
shin.
has no shin. He has no kneecap. His kneecaps got blown out in the Vietnam War.
Yeah, like so his ankles are connected to his knees.
Fuck, I shouldn't have said anything.
Yeah, he can't bend his legs when he walks.
Steve goes, and the crowd goes mild.
Okay, Tony's question.
Yeah.
How much money did you spend on the game in the last month, and how does your significant other feel about it?
This is 100% targeted to me, so
Yeah.
I'm guessing. All right, so
The funny thing is that Bum has an answer that's not 0 this time.
Yeah, I do. I'm excited.
yeah. All right, well, you go first, Bones.
$150 worth of pine cones, but it wasn't my money.
Oh yeah, because you did to get ready for Balin.
Yeah. So shout out to Mike. Matthias, did you help me this time? Either way, Matthias helps me out.
No, I wasn't there for your live stream when you unlocked Balin. I was at work, I think.
Tassanex, Old Man Logan. Guys, I've asked for like a $5 pack from Old Man Logan in the past. He told me to go fuck myself and was serious. He actually helped me out very much. So I got to shout him out. But yes, thank you to all my my friends for helping me out. But yeah, it was about $150, and it was just to take Mark from 6-star to 7-star, Gear 12 to Relics, and then R7 him. Just to do all that was $150. That's crazy, and that makes me have more respect for people who spin, because that is insane. That is really fucking crazy. But that's my answer.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. You got anything, Matthias?
Yeah, I checked my Google Play history. I think the number was $254 on Swigo in the last month. And my wife thinks that I stopped spending money on mobile games, so she would be pretty upset if she knew.
I love you and your wife's relationship. You're the fucking... I would kill you too if you're my husband.
So, we've got our own like spending money sort of stuff. So obviously I only spend my money on it, but probably the volume of it is probably excessive. So last month.
Hey,
and
you're cutting out. I think you're
What?
muted or you're going robo. You cut out.
Or you didn't? What didn't you hear?
We've
got.
Just the number kind of cut out there.
Say it again. We didn't hear it again, man. I think something's going wrong.
What? You didn't
What's
hear
up?
the seven?
Mike,
Like, it's not in US.
I think Discord. I think you said so much money that Discord wants you to subscribe to Nitro before you can say your amount.
Oh, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
what?
Discord isn't happy.
No.
They want their cut of whatever you're giving this manga.
Oh, you just can't hear me saying.
Yes, I
No,
can.
did you say $7, Mike? Is that what that amount was?
I think he said 756,000 is what he said.
There's a lot of numbers.
Yeah. Damn. I don't know. Well, how does your wife feel?
Oh, well, she doesn't know, obviously. So
Yeah. No, that's good. I mean, neither do our listeners.
yeah. Yeah.
because
Obviously, Discord, in Twitch chats, obviously figured it out.
yeah, they Twitch wants their cut, Discord wants their cut. They're not happy.
And obviously
Speaking
it's a
of-
lot less this month because I've only got Conquest Pass and the Episode Pass so far. So, yeah.
Speaking of Twitch wanting their cut, did you guys see Twitch is raising the price of their tier 1 monthly subscription?
That was like
God.
September for me in Australia.
Twitch.
Oh,
You're fucking killing me.
I just got an email yesterday saying that they're raising the price of their tier 1 monthly subscription to $7.99. And I'm willing to bet that the person the streamer you subscribe to is not getting an increase in the amount of money they're being paid.
I want to try to get people to like just donate to my PayPal or something, but I don't know how to do that to like get everyone to understand that. Because it might just be easier for people. It's a lot harder to go to the site, blah blah blah. So you get just clicking a button to subscribe.
Yeah.
But if you guys are listening, like
Shaka said it's September as well. Yeah.
I literally got an email yesterday saying that because I have a British streamer that I've been watching for like 4 years that I've been subscribed to for a
Wombrad
while.
is not British. Don't call him British. He'll be
It's
angry.
not Wombrad.
what is
It's
he?
a guy who plays. It's
He's
the guy who
Welsh.
plays RPGs.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Next question.
All right, yeah. Moving on.
His wife heard the
this
amount that he spends.
No.
So the next question.
It's 1:15 in the morning on Australia Day. Come on, guys.
No, Matthias is looking over his
forgot
shoulder.
Australia Day.
That's what I was talking
Oh,
about.
yeah. Okay.
Go ahead, Matthias.
4 Australia days a year. Anyway, actually, wait. If today's Australia Day, today marks a 1 year anniversary of what I believe was your first time coming on Three Scoundrels.
I literally said that to Bones
Yeah, and he
in the
did,
cantina.
he did
Yeah.
Three Scoundrels Thursday too, which was really cool. I didn't even know that was the case.
Like a 1 year recap.
It doesn't seem like it was that long ago either.
Yeah.
So TK, if you remember, was our special guest last week. Says, since we forgot about it last week, can we please bitch about how a regular marquee character needs 3 Zetas? I'm not sure why, but this dog coming to the game is pissing me off. If you could live in any fictional world, what would you choose?
Get it? Pissing him off, marking his enemy.
The pissing howl.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
Matthias,
comment on the Zetas because I've got an abundance of them and I didn't even notice
but Matthias,
she had 3 Zetas. So
Matthias,
I'm
you
out.
go first.
Yeah, so last week I pointed this out before we started the stream, but I forgot to repeat it on the stream. Omega Fugitive is the first non-legendary character to require a Zeta on her basic. And I'm counting Conquest characters as being legendary. But the only other characters besides Omega that I can actually think of off the top of my head with Zetas on basic are Gas and the GLs. So, one, fuck you, CG. Like, Zetas are already a crunch for most players who are not at the very end of the game. And 2, Zeta on basic is fucking stupid. Like, don't give me Zetas on basics. That shit sucks.
Yeah, I mean, I said this on Scoundrels. So it is bullshit. I don't like it, but I don't care because if I know I have some stuff coming up that I need to work on a character, I just hoard everything. So I'll make sure I have the Zetas. But I'm Zeta poor as well. Like I have like 40 mats maybe. But I had like 200 last week. I had to dump a bunch into Balin. I dumped a bunch into the Bad Batch. So I did have a lot. But I also knew I had like fucking 6 or 7 characters coming up. So it doesn't hurt me like something that hurts to put on. You know what I mean? Like gear and relics, but it doesn't hurt me to put on Zetas. Are they still a crunch? Of course. So I'm kind of in the middle on it. It doesn't bother me personally, but it is bullshit in the overall look of things. And it's fucking Omega. Once again, if it was someone awesome, none of us would be complaining about it. If it was fucking Darth Plagueis or fucking Forlom and Zuckuss or even a fucking Acolyte character, I'd rather put 3 Zetas on. And like you said, a basic, get out of here. But I'm in the middle on it. Mike, how you feeling with your 600? Oh, go ahead, Matthias.
Mike already said that his opinion on this doesn't matter.
I'm so irrelevant to this. It's not worth me.
If you could live in any fictional world, what would you choose? That was TK's actual question.
The Elder Scrolls world. I've always wanted to be trapped in those games.
Tamriel, really?
Yeah.
Well, no. Tamriel's the continent. Nirn is the planet. But
I'm proud of you for knowing that. Yeah, it's just amazing. I love it. I could, if I wanted to go sit in a bar for a long time, I could, and I'd even be okay with like just the game world, like just them saying the same 4 things back to me all the time. I'd be okay with that. It would be cooler if like everything turned into more realistic. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, probably Oblivion because Oblivion's so trippy. Over
just
like Skyrim.
Anytime you like want anything and you don't have enough money for it, you just like pick up a bucket and put it on somebody's head, and then you can just walk off with whatever you want.
And if I need to like get to a higher place, I can put a bunch of feathers in the air and they'll stick there. That was an interesting glitch too. But yeah, I will say, I mean, we would all, I think, agree to do Star Wars. I mean, to be able to go to fucking all kinds of different planets and shit.
Yeah.
So I'd say Star Wars, or the more interesting one that's not Star Wars, I would say, yeah, Tamriel or Nirn.
Yeah, Star Wars.
I still pick the Wizarding World.
What, Harry Potter?
But Harry Potter's real, so we're already
Yeah.
living in that world.
I was gonna say, even if I was just a muggle in like the universe where wizards exist, I just think that like life would just be so fucking exciting. Like just the random shit that muggles quote ignore. Like Stan Shunpike from the Night Bus says in book 3 about how like muggles don't see anything, do they? Like just to know that like all that shit is happening out there in the world somewhere. I would love that.
And like, if they did see it, they'd be like, "Oh, this is a scientific reason," and they'll come up with like some reason why that didn't happen, like in their brains. I hate that. Like when something that you can't explain, they'll like, "Oh, this is what really happened." You know, you fucking
Yeah, the
conspiracy theorists.
rationalization.
Yeah, we're always rationalizing how that didn't happen.
I
But
also
yeah.
love the idea that there's like an entire group of wizards out there that are desperately trying to figure out how quote muggle artifacts work. And you have like
Mr.
Arthur Weasley asking
Yeah.
Harry Potter what the purpose of a rubber ducky is.
And I think, is it the 6th movie? You get to see him like walking around in his like little basement with like all kinds of muggle shit that he's trying to figure out. I think it's the 6th one. I can't
Maybe.
remember. It might have been I don't know.
I'm not.
But yeah, but
One.
Hogwarts.
Steve, if the Queen is dead, you can't bring her back with the Horcruxes.
Yeah, you have to create the Horcrux before they die in order to bring them back.
Wow, this is getting really dark in the chat.
Anyway, next question. Fuck.
But yeah,
can we skip
hold
the
on.
next question?
I want to see how awesome it would.
No.
I would be the janitor of Hogwarts, real quick. Like I'd be under.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
I would be like Filch's cat. I don't give a fuck. Just to be able to live there.
What I was gonna say is like I'm 100% willing to be Filch or Miss Norris. Just like
Yeah.
let me go there.
Yeah, like it's so fucking magical and it like warms my heart every time I think about it.
You'd be more one of like the elves, I think.
That's fine.
Just one of the house.
Elf
Just like
elf.
half enslaved.
I
Like I
could-
don't want to be free. I want to cook food.
I could be the nastiest hag that the kids will like throw onions and food at me and bully me. I wouldn't care because I'd be so happy living in Hogwarts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Moving on. So Bane posed our next question.
This is going to
Mike,
get us demonetized.
Yeah, Mike is already angry about this question. He was angry the moment it got.
Is Bane in chat?
Probably, yeah.
Probably. He's
He
always-
better be.
Love you, Bane.
So Bane asked, "Is Bounce Your Balls a Wiggles song or an Adriana Chechik video? Let's bounce our balls together. We make a perfect team. Playing with them day or nights like living a dream. Bouncing balls. Yeah, let's bounce some balls. Bouncing balls. Yeah, big bouncing balls."
Is
Which
this,
I assume is lyrics to the Wiggles song.
is this a Wiggles song, Mike? That's why you like the Wiggles.
Double entendres for all the parents out there. Got to keep them entertained while they're sitting through a concert.
Now I'm going to watch conspiracy videos about the Wiggles because something's going on there. Maybe
Wasn't there a line from like a pretty popular hip hop song a little while back that was double entendre, kick it to the curb, and then we double up Tanya?
and then we suck off a Wiggle and bounce his big balls.
What was it was AC/DC that made the song Big Balls, right? I've
Yeah.
got big balls, she's got big balls.
Yeah. Yeah, Mike, I need you to explain this to me because this is the
I
first
don't-
time I've heard it. Yeah, come on.
Some of the
Nope.
songs are just like, well, they're simple, right, for kids. So
But if you're an adult, you know there's secret meaning. So what are the Wiggles making the song? Why did they make that for kids?
so that all the parents in the room also start laughing while listening.
I'm actually kind of pissed at the Wiggles right now. Like now,
I'm pissed at
Yeah,
Dreamworld.
now I feel like
I would say
Sorry.
I get where Bones is coming from with being upset about it because it almost feels like, you know, subliminal messaging of children to be okay with sexual things.
Yeah.
I think that's what Bones
Also,
say he's upset about.
I wonder what they found underneath Wiggle World. Maybe that's why they closed
Yeah.
down.
How many secret tunnels were there? How many? Is this like Disney World where like 800 people go missing a month?
Yeah, I wanted to, I actually
What? What?
people in chat. He's not
Have
wrong
you
either.
ever- like, people go missing from Disney World. There's an entire network of secret tunnels underneath Disney World,
Yes.
and tons of people go missing every month, and a lot of them are children.
He's not wrong. This is a real thing. And now I'm wondering about Wiggle World.
Well, there's no more Wiggle World, so stop wondering.
I wonder
The tunnels
why.
are still there.
Yeah, I wonder why he's not there. I'm pissed at these
There-
Wiggles.
There is like a lake right next to where it was, and then there's an island in the middle of that lake.
How many bodies are at the bottom of that lake?
So,
Okay, I need
Sleeping with
someone do an investigation on the Wiggle World, please, guys, and we'll talk.
Alex Jones. Alex, get on it.
We'll do a deep dive into Wiggle World's sex trafficking schemes next time on the Huds Hangout.
We're getting dangerously close to being demonetized by the owl
we're
people.
gone. We're gone.
Okay, moving on. Jack Daniels has a question. He says, "Have you ever had a chalk top? And if so, what is your favorite flavor?"
Is that?
I'm gonna have to assume this is a non-US thing.
Is this a name for a blowjob?
No,
A chalk top?
ice cream cone. Then there's flavored ice cream, and then it's like hard chocolate top, like you put the chocolate topping on and it sets hard.
And this could only be found at Wiggle World.
Well, apparently not. I didn't even know where Jack Daniels is from, but
no. See, remember that last week we talked about the sausage on a stick that you can only buy at the hardware store. So you can only get Chalk Tops at the department store.
Well, I got some more jokes to make. You can only get your Chalk Tops only at Wiggle World.
at Bunnings.
A Chalk Top. You guys have to stop with this shit, man. You Australians.
So I think the equivalent of that in America, we have this like branded pre-packaged ice cream cone called a drumstick, which is like cone with the ice cream, the hard chocolate out, and sprinkled nuts on top.
No.
That's what I'm thinking too.
Not even fucking close. I'm getting you. Oh, fuck. Apparently they're at Woolies.
I haven't even been listening to your description of it. I was laughing
This
at
is it.
jokes. Well, how am I going to...
Okay, so Jack Daniels reckons... Oh, so he might not have them, but... Yeah.
I don't think... Okay,
Hold on. Yeah, I'm
we can
going to
see him.
Google a Chalk Top.
Click on the link in Twitch
Yeah,
chat.
this is what fucking
I don't
Matthias
have the
described.
I'm on my phone.
Matthias, it's what you described. It's
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just a drumstick, but without the nuts on top.
Yeah.
No, that's not a drumstick.
Not a chicken
Yes, it
drumstick. We call these drumsticks here.
I know what they're
Drumstick
called.
ice cream.
Yeah, cornettos or drumsticks over here, right?
Yeah.
But it's flat. These have got a blob of ice cream and then hard chocolate topping.
Drumsticks
that
aren't
sets
flat. They're not flat. They're this.
The tops are.
No, they're not.
Cream and the hard chocolate on the outside.
It's an ice cream. A drumstick here is a fucking ice cream cone, like what we're seeing, with blobs of ice cream with hardened chocolate over the top. Me and my kids get them every month.
Google Nestle drumstick.
It doesn't look like that.
It does too,
Yes,
Mike.
they look the same, except drumsticks have nuts on them.
We're
The
not-
top of that is not the same shape as
It is
a chocolate.
too. God damn it!
That's just because drumsticks are
All right.
mass produced, so they have like a perfect circle on top.
Next week's
That's
poll. Next week's podcast poll. Is a chalk top the same as a drumstick? I'm putting it in now.
It is.
All right. Next.
All right.
Next question.
We've established that everybody outside
Mike.
the U.S. is fucking.
Mike, how the fuck?
Moving.
How different is that? It looks a little different.
It's not.
It's
a
not
cone.
flat.
It's
That's not
sorry.
flat.
Anyway.
The only difference is the drumstick comes with nuts on it. That's fucking it.
It's the same fucking shit, man. Don't give us that. Bones was right again. So was Matthias.
Our next question comes from another guildmate
Mike
by the
seems
name of
legitimately
Amari.
pissed that we have a chalk top.
Our
Sorry,
next
go
question
ahead.
comes from another guildmate by the name of Amarty. He says, lots of speculation over the next raid release and what factions are likely to be relevant. What would be your dream raid scenario storyline and faction-wise? Bones, you already have a great one for this if you'd like to start us off.
I mean, okay, so if you want to go with the practical stuff, everyone's going with Ahsoka, Balin, maybe the mercenaries for, I guess, pretty, or some kind of, not necessarily pretty, but an Ahsoka show-based raid. I don't disagree with that. That's been the guess for fucking 8 months now. But we don't know when it's coming. Womp Rat can say it's going to be here, this and that, and we can all believe Womp Rat because for some reason he's the go-to guy for raid releases. I don't know why, but how do we know it's not another 6 months? So what if in the next era we get a brand new ship cadence? A brand new ship cadence. And how do we know? They've already tried to implement ships a little bit with the cinematics in this last raid. Not saying it's a full-blown ship raid, but what if we get a mixed? What if we mix ships with characters? What if it is a ship raid? Because you'll get the new meta ship, and then you use some old ships for a raid. That's what I want. Will that happen? Most likely not. Most likely it's going to be an Ahsoka-based raid or something like that. But You said what I would want is a ship only raid, or a ship and a ground characters raid.
You said very clearly a few weeks ago that you typed vision for an acolyte raid that you desperately wanted to come to the game.
That is true. I don't want it to come to the game, but I think it's going to be an acolyte raid. In the next era, you're going to get acolyte characters. And the first phase is you stab at the end. You stab the ghost witch, the lesbian space witch, and she goes, "I was going to give you full score anyways." And then the second phase is you're trying to kill Queermere before he takes his towel off to show you his dick. Because if he shows you your dick, you lose. You turn to the dark side, and you're done. Matthias, what was phase 3? I think you had another phase for it, right? I don't remember.
Phase 3 was, I believe you said, was going to be you chasing Darth Plagueis into the cave, trying to catch him.
Yeah, and he just peers out at you after you win. Mike, are you still on this fucking ice cream shit, man? We're on another question. Wiggle, sex trafficking, and fucking chalk tops. He's not letting it up.
Mike, what's your opinion for a new raid?
It's going to be Ahsoka, something maybe Peridia based, Mercenaries and Spectre, and yeah.
I want a Peridia raid where you're fighting through the levels of the castle, sort of like the way that they did the waves in Endor, except instead of like pretending to be on speeder bikes going through a forest, you're just like moving up a staircase to the next level. Like they
do that with the Naboo raid. Basically, a new wave comes in, so instead of going up to the sky, you would just then go to the next level.
I'm envisioning it being more like the Dash Rendar level from the Starkiller unlock, where he jumps from train to train fighting the droids. I would like to see a Peridia raid. I think that would be the best way that they could go about releasing the new raid. But like I said earlier, I also think that the new Bad Batch is going to be related to the raid, and I don't see how they could tie the Bad Batch into Peridia at all. So I don't expect that. It's weird because I definitely think that there's going to be Bad Batch. I definitely think it's going to be Mercenaries. I know they said Ahsoka is going to be needed for a raid, but they didn't specifically say it would be the next raid. So I think that there's a chance that Ahsoka won't be in this next raid. But I also think that would be a really shitty thing for them to pull. Which is why I wouldn't put it past them. But yeah, I want Peridia to be the next raid. That's my answer to the question.
I think that they would be losing money or losing the opportunity to make money if Ahsoka wasn't in the next raid.
Yeah,
people will panic farm to get her.
They'll bring back those single character packs that were $70 to take one Imperial Remnant character to Relic 1. They'll bring those back the day the raid comes out.
I can't believe how controversial chalk tops are. The chat has not moved on to this current question.
They're still fighting about it?
Yeah. Okay, so we've come to the decision. Mike's chalk tops are you buy all of the drumstick things individually and make them from scratch. We just get it all
cone.
We get it all packaged together. Exactly what you're doing. Exactly what you're doing. But I'm sure it's better. It's way better quality because you're doing it yourself. Yeah. Because I saw the chocolate. We're not arguing
Not even just that. I'm sure the prepackaged chalk tops are better than drumsticks because American food is made with the worst ingredients imaginable.
Yeah.
We also have drumsticks, though. They are two very distinctly different things.
But for you, that is. What you always tell us the shit that we call it something. You tell us how it's called it different. A drumstick for you is not the same as what we call a drumstick.
It is. The picture you pulled up.
You're telling us it's
we
flat.
have. drumstick.
You're telling us it's flat. There's nothing flat about that. Those aren't
So
flat.
the cone comes up, and then there's a top of the ice cream cone. Whereas a chalk top is literally a ball of ice cream. There is no flat surface at the top. The cone
There's
for a
nothing flat
drumstick
about
comes
drumstick.
up, and then there's a flat.
What are you talking about? There's no flatness to a drumstick.
Never mind.
It's round with chocolate on it, surrounding it. I'm gonna kill
Some
you.
drumsticks are flat on the top. In chat.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. So
The
there's
poll is-
multiple images
The
that come
poll
up.
is in the Huts Hangout Discord. We've already got one saying, who is it? Fucking Steve is saying they're the same. Get out of here, Steve.
We've got one person. The community has spoken. Thank you, Steve.
Against me. So
All
it
right.
doesn't
Sorry.
count.
I just wanted to mention that yours is probably better, but it is the fucking same. Okay.
But yes, we haven't moved on, and we won't. This will be the hot topic for the week.
Now I need to bring it over to Scoundrels.
Get Meathead to put it up on the forums.
I'll have Egnard say something as well. All right. Move on.
It'll be on the Gungies next year.
Yes.
Wrecker
Chop tops.
Mercenaries special is going to be that he throws ice cream cones at people.
Get
So,
chalk,
okay.
Get chalk topped off. Get chalk topped off at the Gungies next year.
All right.
Yeah.
Are we
Toppy.
moving on?
Yeah, please.
Next.
Okay, yes. Next question. Ironically, from Steve, is what is the most disgusting / cursed food that you like? And I think that everybody's answer is drumsticks and chalk tops.
I don't know what you mean by cursed. Like nasty?
Like, if it's a food where everybody goes, ooh, I'm guessing.
Like I'll eat
Like, so cursed is like it's a more younger slang term for like saying like, oh, this is cursed, meaning like, oh, this is something that's awful to look at.
That's kind of hard, and I don't think I'm gonna have a good answer to this.
Well, Vegemite is going to be the easiest answer for me.
Because
Because apparently anybody outside of Australia thinks it's disgusting.
well, I get made.
Do
fun
you-
of.
I like Vegemite though. Are you a man from a land down under who
One
just
second.
smiles and gets little Vegemite sandwiches?
He's out. You're not gonna talk about Vegemite. You've done talking about the Wiggles. You've done talk about Chalk Top. You will not disagree with Vegemite.
He's getting a can of Vegemite.
Oh. Okay.
I have a whole thing of Vegemite, right? So this is my hand. That's how big it is. How big is it? Half a kilo of Vegemite.
I have a jar of peanut butter in my pantry
half
the size
empty,
of my
though.
fucking head.
Fuck, it smells nice too.
I've never eaten it, so I can't like diss on it.
Yeah, I don't know
Okay,
what the
stop
fuck.
it.
I don't even know what's in Vegemite.
Stop that.
Is it just like
Over there.
you got veggie puree?
It's
It looks
veggie
like-
based. So ingredients are yeast, salt, mineral salt, malt extract, color, 150C flavors,
Red dye.
and then some words I can't pronounce.
That looks like a worse version of Nutella, and Nutella is already awful.
No, this is savory. Nutella's sweet. This is like yeah.
Everyone's saying Marmite. What is Marmite?
So Marmite is meat based, whereas Vegemite is veggie based.
Is there a big difference in taste?
I prefer term.
A little bit of difference, but not a lot.
Okay, so Steve,
Fuck, Steve, get out.
God damn. Yeah, I don't know anything about Vegemite. I can't. I would try. I will try anything once, just like anything in life. I'll try anything once to.
Oh,
At
I'm
least
actually
have an
hungry,
opinion.
so this is.
But I don't see. Like, I hate hot dogs. I hate mustard, ketchup, mayonnaise. So a lot of the things that you would call cursed, I probably don't like. That doesn't mean like I have a low standard of food. I really probably do. But there's a lot of like really just weird, gross stuff that I do not enjoy. So I don't really have an answer.
Bone disgusting / cursed food that he likes is the pinecone jam that Mike sent to our chat the other
No, that
day?
was what?
That was
What?
me, you fucks.
Oh, one percent.
No,
Oh, was it?
Did you-
that
oh,
was
did you
me.
send it?
Oh,
Yeah,
it was a
Okay.
self-report.
Okay, yeah, it was a self-report. That's Bones' disgusting / cursed food is pinecone jam.
so I was
Because he
scrolling-
actually found a
It was
recipe for
too. It was Bones.
Yeah, I would say
Some Russian pine cones.
TK is good because everyone gives me shit about canned chicken. I guess people don't like canned chicken. I love canned chicken. You can do so much shit with canned chicken.
I like canned chicken too. I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, it's good. You can make salads and tacos and all kinds of shit with canned chicken. And it's good. It's fucking good. Get out of here.
I've used it to make homemade buffalo chicken pizza before.
Yeah, I think it's delicious. Jar Jar says deviled eggs, but Jar Jar, I despise them. So I can't say that I like them.
It has to be a food that you like, but that like other people would think is disgusting.
But going back to the pinecone jam, guys, I think I might have posted it in other Discords, but I was scrolling through Facebook and there's a pinecone jam, and the pine cones are still intact, but when you squeeze them, they smash like mush. I want some so bad. I want to try it so bad because I like jam. I want to try pinecone. We can do it on stream. Somebody send me some. Please send me some.
I'll send you some Vegemite.
Whatever, I'll try it on stream.
Vegemite looks like
it's
poop,
like
but
literally like toast. Just get a piece of toast, put a bit of butter on it, and then just a little bit because it's really like savory.
And-
just a little bit, and then go from there.
Like if anyone wants
and
to
don't forget the beans. If you're eating toast, you gotta put beans on them.
If anybody wants to see me eat shit on Discord, or not Discord, on stream, just send me it. But like, if it's pinecone based and it can be eaten and it's not straight from the tree, I would love to try out every kind of thing that you can do with pine cones.
Bones wants to become a mukbang streamer.
But I'll do it. But if I try it once and it's disgusting, I'm not eating it again. So unless
you pay him.
If you pay me, I'll eat whatever the fuck you want me to eat, even if it's mayonnaise. If you hang out my streams long enough and you can redeem the eat something gross, then it's that your dedication is worth suffering for. So
Really? You told me not to do that one.
what?
Because you've already done it once.
I mean, you can
Why?
You've
still do
redeemed
it.
it once. He doesn't want you to redeem it a second time.
I mean,
It's
honestly,
twice. He's done deviled eggs twice now because of me.
but I need to change it because I don't want it to be just deviled eggs. I could say like it could be your choice at this point because I've run out of nasty things that I know I hate. So I need to just change to something gross of your choice or something. You know what I mean? Crafty Way, you found jam on Amazon? Hey man, send it to me. We'll fucking eat it. I'm excited about that. Like I don't think it's gonna be gross. That'd be fun. Anyways.
Mine is not. At least I don't think it's a disgusting food. I think it falls more under the category of cursed food, and that is pineapple on pizza.
We were just talking about this on Scoundrels.
Literally.
Yeah.
We were just talking about this.
A lot of people have problems with that, especially in the U.S. When I was a kid, one time, like my stepdad was in the mood for I don't know if it's called this everywhere, but it was Hawaiian pizza, which is pizza with pineapple and ham on it. If you go to Hawaii and you order a Hawaiian pizza, they will beat the shit out of you in a dark alleyway. Yeah, I don't know.
They'll beat you up in an alleyway and take you to Wiggle World.
Well, so it's funny because part of the reason I think for that is they grow a lot of pineapples and can a lot of pineapples in Hawaii, but also pineapple in some ways can be used as a derogatory slur towards Hawaiian people. So I think that partially goes for it. I think they just don't like being known for pineapples. But yeah, that's my cursed food that I like is ham and pineapple pizza.
Okay.
So
Which I don't mind.
Before I tried that, I talked the biggest shit on people who would do that. I was like, why the fuck would you ruin pizza with that? But finally, my wife is the only person that like makes me try shit, whether it's good or bad, because she can cook it well. Like she's a good cook.
Can you get Alex to give me some tips on how to get my kids to eat food like she gets you to?
Yeah, I mean she loves to help people with food. Seriously, she would, because she that's her love language is food. So if she can get you to, if she loves to make people eat something that they don't want, but she doesn't want to do it for torture. She wants to make you like it. So she'll cook it in a way that where you'll like it. You know what I mean? So that's like a goal of hers when she cooks, and she's really good at it. So she can do that. But she made me eat it a long time ago, and like I said, from the heavens, it started to glow, and I was like, now it's the best pizza. Like that's how I want my pizza, is with fucking pineapples. It's so fucking good. It doesn't make sense until it hits your taste buds. Then it makes all the sense in the world. I fucking love Hawaiian pizza.
Like, my wife puts cinnamon on her watermelon. Like, it's, I don't know, but she fucking loves it. I'm not a big fan of cinnamon in general. Actually, my sister-in-law, her and her husband put cinnamon on their pizza. They'll order a pizza like from a restaurant, and then when it shows up, they sprinkle cinnamon on top of it. And like one time I was at their house and I didn't know that they did that. And they ordered pizza and they opened it up and I went to go grab a slice. And my brother-in-law was like, hold on. And then he grabbed the cinnamon and he sprinkled it all over the pizza. And I was just staring at him like, why the fuck are you making me eat cinnamon on my pizza? I don't want cinnamon on my fucking pizza.
With that being said, I love cinnamon.
What did it taste like?
It tasted like pizza with cinnamon on it.
But pizza's supposed to be like.
But do you like Cinnasticks? Like they make it like fast food pizza places? Oh, I love those.
Nope.
Dip that shit in icing. Oh my god, not pizza, but it's like you could be like a breadstick with like cinnamon on it. And
Are you talking about churros?
No.
No, that's different. Cinnamon sticks are like a side item at Taco Bell, and it's like twisted, deep fried dough.
Those are hard. Those are like the consistency of like a Funyun. What I'm talking about is like the consistency of like a breadstick. They're shaped like a breadstick. It might be a little bit.
I think you are talking about churros then.
No, I'm not. I know what a fucking churro is. It's a Mexican delicacy or whatever. I'm talking about a fucking Cinnastick, where it's the consistency of a fucking breadstick, but it's not. It doesn't have cheese on it and all that. It's just cinnamon, and it's a little bit doughier on purpose. Not like undercooked. It's just like a little softer, a little bit different consistency than a breadstick. And you dip it in a fucking like icing, and it's phenomenal. Not a fucking churro, you two. Don't argue with me about this like the fucking chalk top. I know what I'm talking about. I know my Cinnasticks, and I know my.
I've got no stake in this debate, so I don't care.
Have you guys ever had a brookie?
No.
It's a brownie.
Yeah, I've had a brookie before.
The greatest fucking like
a what?
Sweet, a brookie, a brownie.
It's
in a cookie.
Brownie.
It's literally making brownies and then putting cookie dough dropped around inside the brownie and then cooking it. It is phenomenal.
Okay. Okay. I'll mention that to the wife. She does a lot of baking.
Thank you, Craft.
Sounds pretty good.
But no, it is phenomenal. If you like cookies, if you like brownies, imagine taking that, smashing it together, and loving something more than you've ever loved before.
Yep, I can see it.
All right, next.
Okay, the next question is from Amarty again. Wants to know what are our predictions on the next Conquest character.
A ship. Something screaming Luthen's ship, but I'm not going to go that detailed, but it will be a ship.
Okay. I think you guys talked about this on the last episode that Shaka was on. You guys talked about predictions for Conquest units for the year.
Yeah. But we also talked about Scoundrels last Thursday as well, but there's not a lot to talk about, as you can tell. We haven't even hit 3 hours yet, and we've done nothing but talk about stupid shit. That's how much there is to talk about.
Wizard's World getting demonetized, pineapple on pizza, cinnamon
we don't need a review, Mike or Matthias. We've been here. We're still live. We're still recording.
Yeah.
But I think Ship. What do you
So-
think? Or Mike, sorry.
Your prediction.
I feel like it'll be something that'll be used in the raid. So whether it's another Spectre or a mercenary, preferably one that sort of makes sense to be on Protea, because that will be unlockable in April.
But what would it be? Like, they've done everything from that era. Like, everything.
I can think of one character that could be a Spectre that they would add. But I don't think that they would give Ahsoka a second lifter, is the only thing.
What you could maybe make it like the General Syndulla team. Give it some kind of lifter.
Yeah. And that would probably be what it is this conquest unit would probably have 3v3 Omicrons.
Well, quit with the mystery.
with
Just tell us who the
specific
fuck it is.
The pilot Zeb from the Mandalorian TV show.
Yeah, that we saw 2 seconds of, which is not unheard of for them to bring.
Yeah.
At least
if
it's
I had to
an
get-
actual character and not a fucking vision.
So
you
Mike,
know.
here's my thing: is I feel like we have plenty of stuff for a new raid. I don't see them to continuously add more characters for a raid.
I want the New Republic X-wing pilot guy that appears in all of the TV shows. The old Asian dude that's like
Yeah.
ties everything. He's
Yeah.
the Luis of the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, he's, I guess, cool. Not really, but I think he pops up a little too much. Every time, like a
Yeah,
X-Wing-
he's every time he appears on screen, it's exposition for advancing the storyline.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, oh, look, or X-Wing. Maybe it's somebody we know. Maybe it's Luke, and it's this fucking guy. It's like, all right, man, you've saved the world enough. Can you go retire or something? You're getting a little old for this.
Okay, so our final question for the week comes from Bane again, and I think that this one is specifically for Mike. And the question is it harder at 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. to listen to your fellow co-hosts rant and rave?
I thought he was.
And I
gonna
believe
tell-
this question got asked while Bones was raving about gray people.
And I thought he was going to just cut it off. Is it harder at 1 a.m. or 2 a.m.? But it kept going.
So the funny thing is that he asked that question at 1:07 a.m. and it's now 1:54 a.m. So he's literally like asked like both times perfectly. Like, yeah.
Yeah, Mike.
In order to give you accurate information to go off of for your answer, Bones is going to have to go on another rant. And since we have not mentioned MSF yet this podcast,
Yeah,
Yeah,
MSF is much better. Go play it. And they should be fucking paying me, man. Like me and Captain Amazing are good, but he's getting promotions from them. He has like 2K followers. I fucking promote you every fucking day. Can I get a little bit of like money here? Like, goddamn, I could bring, and I brought an entire guild's worth of new characters and whales. Crafty Way whales the fuck on that game. I deserve, and if I actually got paid to do it, I could bring some people into that game. Fuck you, MSF. I love you, but fuck you. There's my rant.
yeah, I was going to say, there you go. He went off on a rant about MSF. So, Mike, which one's worse, 1 a.m. or 2 a.m.?
Can I just go to bed?
Which means just all the time it's the same.
Anything past about 11:01
He's
is bad to hear ranting
he's just
from the
numb.
co-host.
He's just numb. Unless we say the Wiggles and he perks up.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
like Adriana perks right up.
Dude, imagine if she joined the Wiggles now that she's retired. What if all retired porn stars with blown out backs joined the Wiggles?
Fucking Sasha Grey.
You know how excited he would be?
Oh my god. Okay. I think we're done.
Yeah.
Or
let's
what
wrap
if
it up.
the retired Wiggles went into porn? What would you do? Would you watch it or would you be
He'd
scarred
watch-
for life?
He'd probably watch a lot more porn. Let's save questions like this for the VIH chat, shall we?
Are we done? Is this the last question, or are we
Yes,
got more?
that's it. That's it.
So
Last
if
question.
if you want more questions about porn and the Wiggles, that's how they get away with sex trafficking. By the way, come into our VIP. We have some very convoluted and complicated way of you getting it free to play. That's something Mike can explain to you. I still don't understand it. But if you just sub to us or if you get gifted a sub, it automatically knows and you can come into our VIP section. We hang out for like 30 to 45 minutes afterwards while I upload stuff and we just hang out and bullshit. No one really does it except for like the 2 people who hang out with us every day anyways. But if it is something you're interested in, it is there. You just have to be a subscriber on Twitch or being gifted a sub, or like I said, I don't really want you to explain it, Mike, because it goes on forever, but there's some VIP, VIH way of doing it that you see pop in the chat, so definitely come by. Alright, so
Click the redemption that says VIH and you can come in.
Yeah. And then there's another redemption that you can click on to redeem, and it uses a couple of your channel points to reduce the cost of the next VIH redemption. But it reduces the cost of it for everybody, not just yourself.
So you gotta get in there while you
So
can, you know? Alright,
Yeah.
say your goodbyes. We've been here
Me?
long enough.
Mateus, who?
Any of you. Either one.
All right. Well,
Yep.
I'll start. Basically, it is now actually Australia Day, 2 hours into it. So shout out to all the Australians who listen. Fuck, if you're actually here live, good on you, because
All 3 of you. Thank you.
there's more than 3 Australians. But yes, happy Australia Day. Hope it's a good long weekend for you all. Yeah.
Matthias, it
And,
looks like you're trying
thank
to
you
do
to-
like an Illuminati symbol before you leave.
What?
The Illuminati people.
This is some Illuminati bullshit. This is just me putting my hand against my head.
The
Oh, Matthias.
If you're in the Illuminati, they'll like do these symbols with like this thing around their eye, or they'll do the devil horns in their shoots, and like the high profile shoots or like high profile interviews. They'll do these weird symbols and like
There's special ways that they hold their hands
they'll
together.
cover
and shit
one
like that.
eye as well. It's like it's an actual thing. Mike, we need to
Wear
hang out.
shirts with
That's another
bad
podcast.
drawing of blood all over it.
I mean,
Yeah.
we've lost the money for this episode anyway, so
Illuminati
Let's
ain't gonna
just-
take our money.
we don't.
The Wiggles are sex traffickers. I could talk about Illuminati.
Give me 2 minutes and I can get the politics tag slapped on this
Okay.
chat.
No, I hate you. I hate when you start talking about shit. I start to squirm. All right. All right. Sorry.
Yes.
Finish your goodbye. Sorry.
No, that was it, basically. Thank you to everybody coming out live on chat. Yeah. Fuck you, Bane, for the shitty question.
Yeah. I love you guys. I'll second that. Thank you for the support. I can't believe you guys sat through this. What's funny
Yeah.
is what's funny, Mike, is we're saying this is a horrible episode. Someone in chat said this was great. I just got a message from someone in DM and Discord that said, absolutely loved the Scoundrels episode. You guys didn't talk about anything and just bullshitted, and he was being serious. So, yeah. There we go. Maybe we should
Between Egnards and I, actually, that's probably something like I was on the Scandal podcast 36 hours ago, Egnards and I, so go check that out because I was 6 beers deep by the end of it, and it was quite fun. I don't remember a lot of it, like not drunk wise, but just it was so crazy and chaotic. And at one point there, I felt like Avant was just like trying to like become as small as possible so we didn't get noticed because we were just so fucking off topic. But yeah, it was good fun.
And like Old Man Logan's only serious. Like he's only going to talk when it's about something serious. Otherwise, if you're kidding around, it's like he shuts down as well. Like, what the fuck, man? But anyways, that's a whole nother show. Go check out the Inferior podcast. There's 3 scoundrels in a cantina. They're a bunch of assholes, and they are shitty at their job, but they do have a podcast. And I guess it's Swugga based, but every episode becomes less and less Swugga based on both sides. Matthias, say your goodbyes.
Bye, everybody. Even though he wasn't here today, still go check out Woprat's channel on YouTube. He posts tons of Star Wars Swigo theory related content about the best ways to utilize your datacrons in your account and everything like that. If you're ever confused about anything, definitely check out his how-to guides for help with that sort of stuff.
What a good friend. God damn.
I think
we do miss you.
I think this episode has confirmed that Womp is actually the guiding force that makes the podcast.
Yeah, because this was, even if you're enjoying this was bad. This was really bad.
We had one topic, and we didn't even really do, like, it was a kit.
I think we just need 4 people. Because last week we had TK, and it was still a good episode. So I think we just need to have 4 people.
We were done at an hour and a half, and we've hit 3 hours. That's how much stupid shit we've talked about.
My fault. That's my fault.
I think it was mine, but we won't argue about that. I promise. Okay, let's get the fuck out of here, guys. Mike needs to go Betty bye. We're gonna go raid Tassanex, everybody. You know who Tassanex is. Go by and say hello. He's a top 50 GAC player. He is the man to
I
talk
him
to.
to come join us.
Yeah, and I need to message him, Mike. I will. We're gonna try to get him on here as well. But love you guys. Have a good rest of your weekend. Don't do anything that I wouldn't do, and we will see you guys next week. See you guys later.
And definitely don't do anything that I would do.
So you guys are fucked. You got to pick one or the other. I don't know what to tell you. All right, see you guys. Bye.
Bye.
We're rating. We are rated.